Good evening, ladies and gents, and welcome back to the GKP Live. Hope everybody's good and had a good week. Usual thing. We'll be right back after this.
Going slow tonight.
Welcome back. Evening, Crafty.
Good, mate. Evening, Crafty.
How's everybody's week been up to Chris then?
Nothing.
Nothing? Nothing? A quiet week?
Oh, yes, I did tell a lie. I'll be making a seine net this week to try and catch me bloody fish.
What are you making it out of, Daz?
The scaffold netting.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, that's like, and I've got some finer, it's thick fleece for the top. It's like in two parts.
So,
yeah, after a bit of messing about and adjusting, I think we've got it to work.
What are you using for your weight on the bottom?
The bottom, it's like a rope, but it's got lead wrapped around it. So like a weighted rope.
Right, yeah. So have you zip tied that, or have you sewn that in place?
It's sewn in place, and the lead is like tubes wrapped around the rope.
Jazz, tell the truth. Wasn't sewn. Come on. If you're going to set yourself
I
free,
do actually own a sewing machine.
so it's official this week. We are going down to see Daz and removing his man card.
Removing his what?
Man card.
His man card.
I've had some serious.
He has slowly and progressively been having several points deducted over the last few months. And this weekend, when he mentioned that he was going to make a seine net with his sewing machine, and that when he got back home, he had to run around with a vacuum cleaner, it was announced and official.
Disqualified.
Disqualified, that's it. To be fair though, mate, did a belting job of it. So, impressed.
Well, it's got to be a damn sight quicker than spending an hour and a half with a bloody landing net and only catching 6 fish.
Definitely.
Well, yeah, it does help. You know, one thing my dad always used to say to me: right tool for the right job.
Yeah. Oh, I'm a right tool.
You damn bastard.
You don't realise in a big volume of water how difficult it is to catch fish.
Yeah. I've watched the videos of you trying to catch them.
Well, we'll film this little experiment, so hopefully it should be funny, if nothing else.
So, what are you using for flotation on the top part of the seine net then?
The grey pipe lagging cutting into like floats. That's zip tied on.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's just low cost. I mean, it's cost me £4 to make it. And that was just for the rope. Everything else I already had.
Yeah, I was going to say either that or a pool noodle.
Well, I was thinking of pool noodles, yeah, but they're a bit stiff. I'd have to cut them up into sections anyway to make it so we can bring it round in an arc.
Yeah.
And it's all been tried and tested then, Daz, with a...
It has. Yeah.
Successful?
Several times. I've got to do a final filming of the finished article now. I've finished tweaking and adjusting it, but yeah, it works proper now.
Sweet.
We look forward to watching the video.
Like a hell of a lot easier, won't it?
Thanks.
If anybody would like to ask a question this evening, if you could do us a huge favour, can you type them out in capital letters so it makes it a little bit easier for me to be able to see, and that way then I don't miss anybody's comments or questions. How about yourself, Vince? Good week?
Yeah, it's not been too bad. Not been too bad. I mean, I've been fucking around with airlines most of the week.
Oh, I forgot to. I'm going to send you a message and tell you. You know the tap that you had that was wouldn't turn off. On the outside of the tap, there's like a big square nut. Switch your mains water off, or your feed to that point. Take that off, replace your tap washer, put it back in, mate. You won't need to change the tap. 2 pence washer, rubber washer. That's all it needs.
Cool. I'll look at that then.
I'll show you the washer. Remind me to send you a picture of the little washer. I think it's a little 1/2-inch rubber washer. You just pop off, you push it on, put it back in, twist it up, nip it up, job done. That's it.
Sweet. Yeah, I've got a blanking cap on the end of it at the moment.
Yeah. I'll show you later on when I get 5.
But yeah, Pa's been going through the garage and sorting out all the stuff that he doesn't need anymore. I mean, I took 2 bloody great carrier bags full of RO filters for Seska when we went up to the show that he had just stashed under. My dad's a very much belt and braces, you know. He's got to have something for the what if. So I'll have one in case that one goes, but I'll have another one just in case that one that's there that's spare doesn't work. You know, it's you end up triple amount of stuff.
They buy it in triple.
Yeah. So I ended up with a ton of RO fittings and a ton of RO pipe work. So the pipe work for the growing on tank and the toe side tank now, all 4 air stones, 1 in each corner. They're all running RO pipe work now, running like a dream as well.
Nice. That's what they want, bud. Good do. Right, we've got his first question. Sorry, how rude of me. Crafty, how's your week been, mate?
Busy.
Was it?
Yeah.
That's good.
Sometimes it is, mate. It's like when you're on holiday, you don't want to be working. But yeah, UV's in, water's looking loads better. roof's done on the filter house. Bish bash bosh. So
Cool.
That's my week so far. And then back
Have
to
you
work.
penciled your kid in for the rendering?
Oh, mate, our kid brother and that is since February last year has been doing it, but he's penciled me in for the 9th of September. So,
Sweet. So not this Saturday, Saturday after.
whatever the 9th is, mate.
Yeah.
I'll just look, I'll wake up in the morning and go, oh, that's happening.
Hopefully,
That rendering ain't getting done.
all being well, Crafty, you'll be getting your pond rendered and I'll be getting mine made bigger. Same day.
That'll be good, mate. Yeah, you'll appreciate it more, man. Especially
Yeah.
when you square them sides off, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, not squaring off.
Oh, okay. I thought that's what you said in your vid when I watched it.
No.
Oh,
No, I'm keeping the shape as it is because it circulates the water in a figure of 8.
Okay.
And it does, because if I throw food in, it'll come down around this way, back up this way, back down this way. When there's no lilies there, you can see that the food does a full 8. So
That's
I'm
cool.
hoping to keep it in the same shape. That way, then I've got constant circulation all the time.
Are you going bottom drain or?
No. I'm just staying with retro. I mean, Yorkshireman's Crafty. I mean,
You should go bottom drain, man.
Yeah, but
I
it's an
should.
in-ground pond, and so without digging a major
That-
hole underneath the shed, how's it going to filter?
Yeah. That's it.
You should.
And
Still,
then, without our last saying, "You're dead," when I took out a bank loan to do it. So no, I'm not. I'm going to keep it as it is, and as it has its work as it is, and as it has been. It's worked fine. I'm just making it bigger.
what's the volume increase?
I think it'll be another. Well, it's going to be about half the size bigger than what it is in length now again. So it's going to be like another 6 foot bigger. But I'm hoping to make it another foot wider. So I reckon it's going to put it up to nearly another 3,000 litres ish, thereabouts.
So what will that be?
Because I'm going to go deeper another foot as well. Hopefully.
What's that
depending on-
total?
It's 4,000 now, so it'll be
7.
Yeah.
7,000 litres thereabouts.
That's
Can't go any bigger than that, really, because
So you'd be looking at around 8,000 litres with the filter.
I'm truthful. I don't. If it were down to me, I'd have all garden, but I'm not allowed because there's no way to put the wash in there.
I might do that myself. Yeah.
Tumble dryer.
Error.
It'd not kick me into next month, so it's not.
Hang it up in the attic, guys. It'll be fine.
What you doing with the earth?
Well, as it happens, I have a very local site to where I work, and they've allowed me to take it to there to put it with their spill so that they can just backfill it into some hole.
That's cool.
So hopefully, if I dig out the rest of it and I find a load more Yorkshire stone in my garden, that should be enough to go around the rest of it for the extension, which is where all the rest of it comes from.
Jammy
So,
bastard.
yeah, well, you say jammy, Vince. There's been a lot of jobs where I've done a lot of favours and done a lot of bits and bats, and sort this out. Can you sort this out? So I mean, technically, they owe me a favour too. So there are a lot. It means
mean
that
like
doesn't
The fuck up with the fiberglass overhang.
Well, that's going to assist me with his trailer because it's a tipper trailer. So we'll just be able to drive on site, tip up trailer, drop it out, boom, job done. They'll get one of their lads on Monday morning to then come along and just blade it off and level it out. So,
Are you doing it by Angus or?
It's a human JCB.
well, we've got by hand for shoveling, but Daz has got some special gear for sorting out and getting
Got
through.
the breaker with a big blade, like shovel on the end. So that will just go straight through it like a hot knife through butter.
Yeah, they're worth. When I eventually got mine on my pond build, man, that's a game changer, man.
Yeah,
Game changer. Nothing worse.
Especially if you're digging clay.
digging clay. Yeah,
Yeah,
but it's got rockets as well. You need something to power through it.
I just got to the clay at that depth how it is, so we've a bit to get out, but not too much. It's only a foot's worth. It's not that bad.
You say that though. Do you remember when I was building the Toso tank? I actually blew up the neighbour's fucking Kango doing the clay on the toe side thing.
That's only trouble with all this rain that we've had. It's going to be a sticky, horrible mess, and all. It's going to be heavy. So, well, we'll see. This weekend,
Yes,
we want to go this weekend, but it's forecast heavy rains and shit. So we've decided to push it to next week in the hope that it doesn't rain. Plus, I've got my fence that I need to mend first before I'm going to drop some new posts in because they're all snapped.
Yeah.
Well, not all, but 3 of them.
I've got a tarpaulin gaz that will cover the whole of the garden, so put that down on the grass first. Put some planks on top of it, so we're not trashing the grass.
See, these guys have all got it all planned. I should be technically, I should just be able to stand back and record everything. Going,
Well,
everyone,
that's it, just a cup of tea and just record it. Leave us to it.
it'd be good, but I don't think I can do that.
Can you
But
wash
what
out the
we're
shed?
hopefully getting it all recorded too. We're hoping to get it started on the Friday night and break out as much as we can, but get the fish out and into a temp, and then from that break out, make a start, shift as much as we can, get rid of it all, get the new liner in, and then hopefully the following morning fish back in with the original water plus top up. So that's the idea.
What type of line are you putting in?
What he said.
The one
Great
that's in the
minds.
shed. What they called those? It's not like the one I've got now. It's not one of those. What is it?
EPBM, is it? Whatever that means.
It's one of those big, thick, rubberized ones. It's a real good quality one.
Oh, butyl.
That's it. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah,
That's
like what I put in the grown on tank.
Yeah. They're good because you can patch them if you ever get a hole in one.
The actual thing itself is big enough to cover my whole garden, so I'm gonna have some left over.
You should have said that, Gaz. You don't want it to come out now.
But guys, you have got one advantage there because it's been done by 2 or 3 people now, where they've actually cut their liners and reformed their liner to fit their pond without all the nasty folds that come out with it as well. So that's something you could think about doing.
To be fair, on mine, it's only got 3 folds on one side and 3 on the other, with the liner that's in there now. So that's why I thought if I kept that slight curve rather than it being massive curve, they're only, I'm saying a fold, they're only really about that kind of depth.
Mm-hmm.
They're not big, so that nothing can swim in there. No can really get in. I don't fancy cutting it and bonding it now. I'm not playing. I'd go with. We'll see how it goes. It's got to happen yet, but that's the plan so far.
I've seen it over the last few weeks successfully done on a couple of instances. Just thought it might be something that you might consider, just to give it more of a conformity of shape. Can you see what I mean?
What do they use? Is it like the double-sided sticky stuff, like blue tack kind of jointing compound?
Now I used that, and I used that with a combination of that and OB1. But the last couple of people I've seen doing it have been using the new My Pond MS300, is it? Or is it MS3000?
3000.
I'm going to say I've used the blue tacky stuff before, and it failed after about 2 weeks. It just drained itself, so I don't have much confidence in that.
So I used the double-sided pond liner tape on the growing on tank, but I also put a bead of OB1 down the joint as well.
Right.
I think if I go with doing something like that, I'm shortening the lifespan of the line.
Yeah, it's always a weak point, isn't it? A point of leakage.
I know all these liners and all these silicons and sealants and everything. I know that all of them have got some form of a shelf life, and they've all got some form of water egress at some point or another. I mean, I've had to reseal bits on my house, which is on PVC window frames to stonework. They don't all last as long as what you'd expect them to do.
No.
But it's a big task if you've got to then start, taking it all out, pumping it all out again, getting it all bone dry, sealing it up. If you get one cock up and there's just that one leak, then it's all back out, fish back out, bone dry it all off, seal it back up, bond it back up again. Before you know it, you just got a whole shitload of mess. I'd rather go with the slight poles, personally, but we'll see how it goes. Got to dig the hole first and get to the stage of putting a liner in without being what? So I've got to dig the hole first without getting decapitated.
That's all right.
I'll say, the second I think we've got to do
just tell Daz did it. I told him to stop, but he wouldn't listen.
Well, that's it. That's how I can get away with it. If I film it and you start digging, and she don't come out and say that's enough, Daz, it's technically Marie's fault.
Yeah, and I could run fast. No problem.
Yeah.
Right, we've got one quick question here from Tokyo One. I put, hello lads, question. I'm finishing off my pond this weekend, brickwork and putting on the couplings. Will it damage my fish or kill them if I get some of the compo in there? Yes, mate, 100%.
You won't do any
Don't
good.
get compo in there. It's not good at all.
Not good.
My dad's neighbours dropped only, I probably would say, half a shovel full in his pond, and within a matter of minutes, mate, of it going in, that his fish were bellying up. Within 25 minutes, by the time we'd got everything netted up and caught up, there were 22 out of the 26 were dead. So, yeah.
The reason for that is that cement's a lime-based product.
Yeah.
Lime will really react very violently with water, and therefore lime will create your pH to skyrocket within seconds. So it basically turn your fish over very quickly.
It also strips the oxygen out of water as well, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so does. So does.
It's strong lime that they use in cement.
Yes.
Yeah.
It burns your skin, so it's not going to do much for the fish.
Yeah. So obviously that depends on how much you drop in there and how big your pond is, but be on the safe side and just take every precaution that you can.
Yeah, I would do, mate. If it were me, make sure you got
remove your fish.
When I had the neighbours having their work done on their house, I had my full pond tapped off and mini pond tapped off, just to prevent ground out cement dust going in. And I never had a problem, but I won't be taking any risks with it at all. So yeah.
Yeah, I'll take, if you can, take your fish out your pond, bowl them nice and safely, and then put your coping stones on. Let it go off, and then if you do drop anything in the water, you can retrieve it, get your balance of the water right again, then put your fish back in. Simple as that.
That's the first question. I'll have a whiz through, just go through. So, we've got a thank you there, whether or not somebody already sent them a private message, which they may very well have done. And then we've got Ricky Brown that says, evening, fishy friends. Umbercoy says, evening.
Evening.
Evil Knievel.
Who that could be.
I loved it when I was a kid. Well, I had this little motorbike that used to ring, and then let it go. I think it used to
I used to have a one.
Are you talking about the one with the wind-up handle?
That's it, man. A little
wheel it as well.
Go, man.
Yeah, done the wheelie and all.
Yeah.
But I do believe this one might be a little bit of a joke about somebody we know that's just dropped his bike this evening. So I hope you're all right. Pride and bruises more than anything. But Evil Knievel's in the house. DT guys, good evening. Edward Gubby says, good evening, Gaz, Daz, Rick, and Vince, and everyone else watching. As of yet, we ain't got a Rick, but I haven't heard not from him. But I'm guessing that either is not joining us this evening or is
Rick is away this week at a festival with his family.
Oh, is he still there? Ah, right. I thought you were just going for weekend. Ah, right. So, yeah.
No, this is another festival.
Oh, another one?
Yeah.
Oh, Rick. Full on party animal.
Rick rock star lifestyle of a koi farmer.
Yeah.
Paul Mack says evening all. Good evening, Paul.
Evening.
Lisa Leach says good evening. Oh, evening all.
Evening, Lisa.
Elizabeth R says shout out from across the pond in Virginia. It's 2:30 p.m. here. What time is it there? At the time when you asked that question, it was bang on 7:31 p.m.
Oh.
Thank you very much for joining us again, Elizabeth. And thank you very much for sending in your video of your fish as well. Tonight's koi appreciation. Sorry, bud. Go on.
As far as Virginia from that big old load of wind that America's just been hit by.
Oh, God. Don't know.
Not bad, man. I was watching it on live cameras. Just see that go through, mate. It's quite scary, man.
Yeah. I don't fancy me, mate. We were watching some few bits and bats overnight about, you know, storms and stuff over there. God damn, man. Good there.
160-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah, and he was stood there with a twister coming towards him, filming it, and then all of a sudden you see, whoop. And I don't know whether he disappeared. Well, obviously he didn't disappear because he got his camera out and got it online, but I think it whipped him across floor a little bit and he were off.
It's when you see the cloud being dragged across the sky.
Yeah.
Nuts, man, isn't it?
Yeah.
Budget pod keeper.
Mother Nature.
Yeah, there's not one to argue with, is it? Mother Nature. Not
such a destructive bitch.
And it's female. What can you say? Like,
say no more. Sorry, before everybody comes down.
I was saying you don't cross them, mate. You know what they're like.
Skeggy says, here comes the Indian music. Cultural music, Skeggy. Cultural music. Mr. Tropical Guy says, evening all. Elizabeth says, thanks, guys. Saskia says, hi, everyone. Good evening. Peter says, I've fallen asleep. No. Glad you're joining us again, Pete. Thank you. Chris Taylor says, evening all. Did you notice that, Chris? I spotted it. Evening, mate.
Yeah, remember your capital letters, Chris.
Yeah, just remember your capital letters because I couldn't find it last week, mate, at all. I have got spag bol in front of me, so you're going to have to excuse me this evening because I'm going to eat my meal because I'm starving. But what we will do is get some topics going and then I'll throw that down my neck. Simon S says, evening all. Thanks for joining us again. First topic I'm going to get into is one that I've had an issue with and something I want people to perhaps, well, shed a
ring to bolognese with a trifle.
And garlic bread.
Damn it.
Garlic bread. New taste sensation.
Bread.
One of the problems that I had the other week when I had the pH crash and the KH crash in my pond with the high spike of ammonia, I lost my kahaku. And now I have one or two fish that look like they may have had some gill damage. My question is, to anybody that does know, is how long does it take for gill damage to rectify itself? And do they make a full, or will they make a full recovery? Now, a lot of the time I've seen it stated online that it says gill damage, as long as it's not turned into too bad, which could become then ulcerated or bacterial infections, then you're in the crap. Well, nothing's ulcerated, nothing's gone anywhere like that, but they have had a rather reddish pink area around the gills on the outside of the body, just to the coloration of white. Other than that, it's progressively got better throughout the week, but I've had to keep regular checks on the water and make sure that I've done some water changes to make sure things have stayed as they should be. Obviously, recycling the system and the pond starting over again as a filter system all completely crashed. I'm going through the processes of new pond syndrome again. So I've been keeping an eye on it, keeping a check on them, and everything has progressively got better throughout the week. Has anybody else experienced anything such as that themselves? And if you have, how long did it take for your fish to recover?
Is that to the panel, Kaz, or are you asking the guy?
Well, I'm asking the panel and everybody out there as well, anybody that's got an opinion and would like to say if they've had any of the same thing themselves.
I mean,
No, I've not
personally,
had,
I mean, God, that's-
not had a crash. I've had the opposite. I've had the alkaline crash, the opposite way, where it's gone to like, well, it went off the scale. It must have been somewhere in the region of 13, something like that. So it was pretty caustic, and that killed like 10 fish just like that. And then about the next month, I lost probably another 15. There's just slowly died off with the damage. But after that, nothing. Everything's been fine since. I think that's what happens. It weeds out the weaker ones, and you'll lose some, but not all of them. It's just toughest survive, I suppose.
Yeah. So
Well, my butterfly koi is acting a bit iffy.
So gill damage is not permanent as long as it's not gone too far, mate.
yeah, it's not what I was going to say.
Like anything in a fish, it's a slow burner for repair, mate. So it takes a while. So you will see a fish acting a little bit groggy until it regens. So what I would look at putting a bit of salt in your water, mate, as well.
I did that.
Yeah.
So the other one I was thinking of
if it's gone too far, mate, you'll be able to tell with the gills anyway, because they won't come back.
Yeah, they start to necrosis.
Necrosis, mate. Yeah.
I can't. Yeah.
So what do you think to adding something like is it aquaflavin? Because that's antibiotic treatment to your water.
It's more of an antibacterial.
Antibacterial, yeah.
So again, guys, any chemical,
antibacterial in that order.
Any chemical being added into your water is not going to help any gill.
That's what I thought, mate, too. That's why I laid it off and just went for the salt.
Yeah, so you're best off laying off any chemical, if you can, obviously. If you need to treat for, a parasite, then do. But it's not going to stop the repair. But you've got to remember that a fish is to repair. It casts a lot of energy into certain areas, and that's why it's such a slow grower. Like, i.e., it doesn't heal as quick as we heal. It can take a long, long time. Okay, so anything that you put in, it will change the way that it's reacting in order to, with the parameters of the water. You put a chemical in, it's going to change the way that it's reacting and thinking, and pushing the energy into the area that it needs to repair. So as soon as you start doing that, mate, you're playing with fire.
Yeah, it's just that extra stress, isn't it, you're putting on the fish?
Well, that's what I thought as well. I didn't really want to do any more or do anything else. I thought if I put some salt in, actually salt reduces the amount of ammonia, so that cuts that back a little bit. So it makes it a bit better that way, and it also aids with the osmosis. So the fish has got less to do and all that kind of thing. So I thought if I bang it in, if I bang it in and go to 0.3, boom, and leave it at that, that'll be enough way to start and just see how
it just balances them back out, doesn't it?
Yeah, and doing that, things look to have perked up a bit. And she's actually come up today and fed, which is the first time I've seen her come up and feed. Since. But I've been laying off the feed big time. They've just had a little bit.
Salt has got so many advantages as long as it. I was having a chat with Alan Tate actually about salt this week, believe it or not. We was talking about fish being dehydrated and how salt works in the water to help it recover, etc. But the advantages of salt is absolutely unreal, mate. But I'm not somebody that believes that salt should be in the water all the time, because you lose the effect that salt. I agree, mate.
Fish, that's why I prefer salt bathing.
They're not saltwater fish koi. So,
no.
It helps as long as it's done in moderation rather than permanently.
Yeah. That's the only problem I find is when you're salting a large body of water, it then becomes a bitch to get out of the system.
Yeah, it certainly does, mate. But, a lot of people think that it gasses out, but it doesn't.
No.
It stays in the system the whole time. you have to just through water changes like dilute it out. You know,
Yeah.
but it takes a long time. You know, you can look 3 months before you see it, you know, down to a 0.1 from a 0.3. So you have to, if you're adding salt, make sure that you're testing your salt levels before putting certain treatments in as well.
Yes.
Because it's 2 months later.
There are some products that don't mix well with salt at
If
all.
you've got salt in your pond, do not put malachite green anywhere near it.
Poison your water.
Period.
Got a question there from Carol Lawsett that says, good evening. Question, please, bone char and cost, is this in liquid form?
I always thought bone char was in a powdered form, and then goes into like a big blue. So it goes, you know, like you're having a big blue, you have your carbon, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Where if you've got certain metals and stuff that's in your water that's going into the pond, if you put it through bone char, it will take certain stuff out.
It's like charcoal, basically.
Yeah, very much like that, but bone char, and it just takes out a different
heavy metals and toxins.
Mineral toxin. I don't think it comes in liquid form, though. I could be wrong, but I always thought it came in powder form.
Yeah,
it's granular.
Powder or pellets normally.
It comes in grains.
Basically. Yeah, like pellets.
Yeah. So animal bones. That's what it is.
It would appear that Mr. Webb also requires his man card removing, as he also has a sewing machine. You're letting yourself in here, Dad.
Oh God!
Even Amanda.
I just take an now.
All right, let's see if we got. I did see another one there. Elizabeth R. How cold does it get in the UK during winter? What do you each do with your koi over winter? It don't get nowhere near like what it does for you guys over there in the States or in Canada. It don't get nowhere near as cold as that over here. We might on his worst winters might get like a -11, probably max. But that's been a long time since we've had temperatures of that type.
For average winter, you're looking down to -4 or -5 as being the coldest it gets, aren't you?
Yeah. As I would say, kind of average. Apart from last year, we did have some areas where it did drop off pretty stupid.
And it was prolonged as well. Yeah,
but that's anywhere past the Watford Gap, isn't it?
Yeah, people in the tropical south don't have that problem, do they, Vince?
No, not at all. But I mean, last year there were some record temperatures, I think, that we had going down as low as, but it's rare. I don't ever know of a winter as cold as last year. I mean, Yorkshire, it's always that cold, Monday to Friday, every day a week, 52 weeks a year. So it's the north for us, and up north in Scotland and all them kind of places.
Elizabeth, up where we comes from, they don't get suntan; they go rusty.
Yeah, but we don't get anything like what you do. Personally, me for myself, my fish are double hard bastards, or they better be, because there ain't no else happening other than being in a pond and a mass of water as nature intends. I don't wrap them up, put them in cotton wool, put heaters in there, give them a hot water bottle. They just do what they do.
Yeah.
And they act just as they should, as they are used to it now. And I've not lost it. I've only ever lost one fish coming out of winter a month or two afterwards, and that died of dropsy, which could have, earlier days, earlier problems, could be water quality as opposed to temperature. But
dropsy, mate. Fish get dropsy irrespective of your water, mate.
Yeah. Other than that, I've never lost, and I've even had fancy goldfish outside throughout the winter period, and they've been down to -4 degrees and survived. And you're not even supposed to keep them out there. Yeah, no. I know. But it was, my daughter didn't want them anymore. They weren't going in a tank. I kept them out all summer. They did so well, and then I didn't know that they weren't allowed to go outside in sub-zero temperatures, but they did perfectly fine. And the last of them now is at Daz's for his breeding project. But the others were, you know, my daughter had had them since being a teenager, and she's a mum of her own now. So they've had a good life and live well. But
Yeah,
certainly over 6, 7, 8 years old, and they spent the last 2 years outside. So, but they were, you know, this sort of size. They were massive.
big fish, weren't they, guys? Yeah.
Yeah, they were, yeah. They did really good.
I mean, what we did see last year is people not taking the right precautions.
Yeah.
You know, and those some of the things people don't think logically. They think that because the water's moving, it won't freeze off. And if your pond setup is where you've got a return that actually drops into the water, when the top of the water freezes over, all that they simply do is empty their pond, because the water comes back on the top and then overflows.
Yeah.
Right. You know, and there was a few people like showing their dead koi after the top of the pond had defrosted away and they'd emptied the pond out. The others
Excuse me 1 second. I will be listening. I will still be here. I'm just going to put some of this spider ball in.
Get your face built, boy.
Yeah, the other thing that we see is, and one thing to be careful of those Nexus or Easy Pod users is the water coming into that as well. It can freeze inside, and it can carry on getting pumped in, and then basically pump over the top of the filter. So again, in effect, you're pumping your water out of your pond because the water inside your filter is frozen over. So, you know, as we're starting to move into winter, so you wouldn't think it. You know, it's just little things that you have to bear in mind. So if it's going to get bloody,
we've had much of a fucking summer.
Turn your pump off if you're not feeding anyway. It matters not, and bacteria lie dormant inside your feeder anyway, because it's too cold for it to be able to do its thing.
Just keep your air stones running. Yeah.
I just turn my flows down.
And that helps keep an area free of frost as well, of ice, if you keep your air stones running.
I've just seen a question come through from Sharpie. Sorry I didn't get to speak to you much at the weekend, mate. Are these vouchers still valid? Hoping to come down next week. Yes, they are, mate. They're valid until you don't bother coming in, basically. They'll be valid forever, is what I'm saying. So, or as long as we've got the loyalty scheme running anyway. But, you know, did you go to the show, Daz? You didn't, did you?
Yeah, went on the Saturday.
I didn't. I was okay. Yeah, I weren't up there Saturday. Good show, huh?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, cracking show. Yeah.
I didn't manage to get to go last year, and I thought it was a cracking show.
Yeah, some nice fish on show.
Well, put it this way, I didn't manage to get into the third building until they started packing up.
I didn't even know there was.
I walked in and I was like, "Where the fuck's everyone gone?" They're all packing up and shit, and I'm like, "Jesus Christ, how long have I been here?"
I wondered where all these people buying these aces from. I kept seeing these trees going out. I thought, well, where's the stand for them? Then someone pointed out there's the third
one next door. Yeah.
Trader stands. Yeah. So
how comes Koi Water Barn were chucked in there on their own?
No,
all the other fish vendors were in the other two units, but it seemed that Koi Water Barn and that's the one thing I did notice was when I got in there, Koi Water Barn seemed to be the only fish seller that was in that third area.
I think it was probably nothing more, mate, than the size of the pitch they ordered, and the order that they ordered their pitch. You know, if they was last down the list, mate, they're not. You know, they would have already planned it in, I should imagine. But I can't imagine there was any politics in that, pal, to be honest.
Oh, it was just a thought that popped in. Yeah, that was it.
They're too well known, mate. If you have a look, I think if anything, it was good to see all of the bigger traders dotted about and some of the smaller traders in between as well. You know,
definitely.
Out on a limb. You know, Supreme Koi was doing some absolute bargains at the end of the day. absolute bastards. But I actually thought it was a great show. The big end fish.
They want the only one in there. Shelley's Aquatics was in the far right corner too.
Yes.
Were they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
They
Yeah,
must
we're
have
in.
done that by the time I got in there.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, size 7 fish were a bit lacking. Gaz, I think you've got your mic. I can hear me on the screen.
Yeah, it's echoing.
Is that better? Hello.
Yeah.
No.
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 In your settings, mate, I think it says it cuts out that feedback. Yeah, size 7 fish were lacking.
That's better.
Yeah.
Are you talking about showfish or sailfish?
No, not sailfish, mate. The showfish. But I actually quite.
Still echoing.
I quite enjoyed it. The fact that there weren't no huge fish that you'd normally see from the big players of the national.
But you say there were no huge fish. Did you see that beautiful gill-ringed shower that was in VAT 3 on the first island?
Yeah,
I mean, that thing was a beast, and that was
It was massive.
Yeah, 100%. But when I say that, mate, I'm on about like the national show hobbyists that go there with their big fish, and there's a lot of ones with big fish in them. I quite like the fact that we had more exhibitors with your size 3, 4s, and 5s in there than what you did. Quite a lot of that's with size 6 and 7s in there.
It's not my first rodeo, Mr. Webb. I have been doing this now for 2 years. I know where the echo cancellation is. I haven't turned it off.
I didn't think you had.
God damn! Everybody think I've never done this before.
So,
I didn't turn off the echo cancellation. I just removed myself from the view and put myself back in.
But
If
big
we've got
shout out to
feedback.
my bestie Lee, who won 2 majors. He got baby.
Yeah, he did really well.
He got
Again.
baby, but did he get baby champion
Baby and young. Yeah.
and young champion?
Yeah.
Right. Somebody said on my video, but I wasn't 100% sure. Top far right corner, Lee's was 25 and 26.
I don't know.
I think.
He had 2 vats next to each other.
But the top corner one had a Shuru Utsura in there. And a gentleman that I was talking to turned around and said that it was Lee's fish.
No.
Now, when I went to look at Lee's vat, his Shuru Utsura was in there. Or one of his was in there. But I didn't know who was that one particular fish. It was just a solo fish in there. But man.
He sold quite a few of his fish from his vat on Sunday.
Yeah,
That's the one with
He
the
sold a
cross
lot.
on its head.
Yeah, the memoir or menswear.
Menswear, yeah.
Yeah. So
But
the
looking at the weather, I think that's why it was on its own.
So the Shiro Award, it was between 2 folk. So Lee was one, and then the person that actually won it. If they'd have been judged on opposite days, it would have gone to Lee and not the other people. It just shows that fish change within that 24-hour period.
He did, right. I know Aid got some off of him because I've seen his video. But did he sell a few then? Or were
Yeah.
those,
Yeah,
We're
6.
still echoing, Gaz.
He's off to Japan in October.
I'm still echoing.
Yeah.
The echo is right. Hang about. Let's work this out. If I'm still echoing, 1 sec. Right.
Can't hear it now.
I'm not speaking now. Am I still echoing now? Can you still hear an echo?
It's when we're
Not when you're speaking, it's when we speak.
Right. So you're getting feedback through from me.
Yes.
So it's not an echo. You're just hearing me play. Yeah, I know what you mean. There we go. Is that better?
Don't know.
That better?
I
That's
think so,
better.
yeah.
That better?
Yeah, I think
Can you
that's
hear
it.
me now? That's it. Sweet. Right.
Yeah, that's got it.
I must have knocked up the volume on my control then.
But yeah,
Sorry.
Lee moved 6 on, but he is going into to Japan in October, I think he said.
Is it?
So,
So is making room for some better stock, or just thinning the numbers down so you can get more growth out of them?
I think it's probably a bit of both.
Bit of both.
Yeah. So he the body on his fish at the national, and I'm sure he won't mind me saying this. So just lacked a little bit against competitors, which is where he didn't pick up as much as he should have. But he listened to the advice that was given. He moved a few fish on after the national because, well, he moved a few fish on, carried on fishing and feeding the same amount, and his body's come back straight away. Let me come back in because it's me that's causing you issues, mate.
Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, I was quite surprised that.
Oh, it's still echoing.
Yeah.
You still got an echo?
Yeah. And then there
It's
was
just me and you, Dad.
yeah. Oh, there's no echo now. Problem solved.
No. No echo now.
Is there an echo now?
No.
No.
So here's me, but I haven't done anything. So
I haven't, and there weren't no echo when I rejoined.
right. Is there an echo now?
What from
Can
you?
you hear an echo?
I
No?
can't hear
Yes?
anything at the
No?
moment.
No?
No.
Yes?
That's a funny one.
There we go.
Yeah,
Is that better?
Sorry.
No,
You
it's
can
still
hear
echoing.
it. Yes or no?
It's still
Yeah.
echoing. Yes.
I can't hear it.
It's fucking pissing it down here.
Oh, dear me.
Yeah. I was out in the rain today doing PP treatment and then the flip treatment in the main pump.
How about that? That got rid of it. Have we got rid of the echo? Can you hear an echo now? Caca! Tuki tuki!
Yeah, I can still hear it.
You can still hear it.
Yeah.
Very good. Very nice.
Right, 3, 2, 1, end broadcast. See you all next week. Oh, god damn.
It was fine to start with. Hang on, has it stopped echoing?
I've muted my mic. Let me give you all a topic. While we've got a topic, I'll look into seeing what I can do to adjust it.
Yeah, Alan, you shitbag.
Fucking echo and the funny man. He takes a piss, doesn't he?
Oh, and Alan, I sent you a photo and a video. Can you have a look at it, please?
He probably has, man, and said it was a pretty fish.
I'll give you a topic. What's the panel's fault and the best way to set up an easy pod to filter a pond? What can be added to it as an appointment? What? That make no sense. What's the panel's fault on the best way to set up an easy pod to filter a pond? Yeah, there you go. What can be added to it? But then it says as an appointment. So I think what's the best way to set up an easy pod and what could be added to it?
Well,
there you go. There's your topic.
Well, you can. Oh yeah, but it depends on how you want the easy pod set up. Now, if you're running the bottom drain, you want it set up gravity fed. But if you haven't got a bottom drain and you're running a pump or a retro bottom drain, you're going to want it pump fed. But if you want it pump fed and you still want it to run a bio unit, your bio unit and your easy pod is going to need to be above your pond, which puts your easy pod really high up in the air. So the best way to put any kind of bio after an easy pod is to gravity feed it. Then you've got the option of gravity feeding into another vessel and then pumping from that back to the pond. Or you've got the opportunity of coming straight from the easy pod to your pump and then over a shower or through a tempest. We need to know whether you want it for gravity feed or pump fed.
You need specifics.
That's the kiddie.
Yeah, bit out of my league anyway. I've not got a easy pod or any Nexus stuff, and I have no intention of installing one. 4
easy pods and 2 tempests.
And Crafty's got about 200 of the blighters. He's one on every pod.
They are a bloody good filter, though, Daz.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm not knocking them at all, but
not at all. Stop lying.
Yes, still got the echo, Dad.
God damn it, man. I haven't done anything. I haven't changed anything.
Leave it. It is what it is.
What about that? How's that?
It's not you that's echoing. It's us that are echoing through you.
You that are echoing through me. How's that kind of thing?
Yeah. That's right, isn't it, Dad?
I don't know. I can hear an echo.
Right. I'll turn it right down. So that's you guys. Talk away freely. Let's go.
Okay.
So,
come on, guys. You got to help me out. It helps when you open your mouths so I can hear words coming out. And
that sounds better.
That sounds a lot better. There's no echo
Yeah.
at all.
Right, that sounds a lot better.
Sorted.
I'll just be partially deaf by the end of the night. I'll be straining my ears that much to be able to hear you. But at least it's not echoing. That's the main thing.
Put your headphones
Well,
on.
yeah. I mean, I don't know nothing about the I don't know nothing about the Easy Pods personally. I do think they're a good filter, but there's a lot of alterations and modifications that people have made to make them more suitable. I spoke with EA about the Easy Pods and about the problems that I've experienced through friends of mine, and I was advised to slow it down. Slow it down and reduce your bends. It's got 3 bends in. 2 going in and 1 coming out, and was advised to slow it down. Too many bends and running it too fast. It's running at 5,000 litres an hour. That's what it says its optimum speed is. So at that point, I thought, thanks very much. Cheers for your information. What do we do? Nothing.
I'm running a
Leave it as is.
10,000 litre an hour pump after mine.
What? 5,000 litres an hour.
No, I got 10,000 flow on the end of the bottom drain line, and that's running at full speed.
Yeah, but you'll be losing a percentage for every bend that you've got. But it's not going to be no, you're not going to be far off, Finch. Yeah. But Mike's is running at 50% on his pump, 10,000 litres, and it's running at 5,000 litres an hour. But yeah, his media keeps rising up and popping up out the top, and I was asking about why it would do it, and he said it's down to your flow. Down to your flow and too many bends. So I won't be able to tell you one way or other because there's very little bends in it and there's very little flow. That's supposed to be running at its sweet spot. But these guys that have more idea, Crafty should definitely know about Easy Pods. He's got like 550 of them in shop. And they do a good job.
They're a great filter.
Yeah,
They are.
but I wouldn't know the rights and wrongs for setting one up. I've never done it. Never messed with it.
Me neither.
I played
when
the
I
ones that
first
I've
got
already
the-
been set up and messed about with that. But
When I first had the Towside tank set up, that was running on a 10,000 litre an hour very flow, and that's only 360 gallons.
have you gone through what you think would be a good way, best way of how to set one up and have it running? And because I was muted and I couldn't hear you because
I've found the best way to have an Easy Pod set up is got to be gravity fed. I have found that when I was running the Easy Pod pump fed on the last growing on tank that I had, I ended up putting a riser in the centre pipe. So what I did was I got a bit of 3-inch pipe and I heated and flared out the top, put some holes in it, and I put that down the centre pipe to lift the water up in the filter itself to utilise the filter better. Because when you pump feed them, you know, your water line sits so low down below everything, you're losing a lot of space. In fact, the old piece that I used to have in my Easy Pod is now running on one of those.
Oh.
But for gravity feed, they're absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. Gravity, I've only ever seen Mike's that's got his set up on gravity. Both of his are gravity fed. Did have a little bit of a dick about situation, but as it happens, we changed pipe work and all sorts. Trying to think what's wrong with this, what could this be, what could that be, what could the other be. We changed it. We reduced about, what we would take Daz maybe 7 or 8 elbows,
Yeah,
7 or 8, 90 degrees out to make it a more direct flow route.
Yeah.
We got it, and it was a bit better, but not much better. And then we decided, right, we're going to clean up, it got nothing in the growing tank. So we took it all back down, give it a good clean out. And then when we looked at the bottom drain, the dome of the bottom drain, at one side was touching the floor. And the other side, I couldn't even get my fingertip in.
Yeah.
So it was reducing. And it all, as it happened, all it turned out to be was the goddamn drain cap that wasn't on right and just being bonded in place. So we removed it, twisted it, tweaked it up, got it level, nice, decent cap underneath it, and then it rocketed through after that. I mean, we did make a difference taking the bends out as well, but it was quite a simple repair afterwards.
But it is surprising how bends really do slow things down.
Yeah. They do. Always better to add a swept 45 than a 90 degree if you can.
Yeah. So like a 2 swept 45s to make a 90 as
A
opposed
nice
to
curve
putting
as
a 90.
opposed to a bang and then an opposite.
Yeah.
I don't know much about Easy Pods, but I've had Nexus for years.
Oh, sorry.
One of the
My bad.
most important things is to get it right for your water level in the pond, because for many years I suffered mine being about an inch too low, and it's okay when it's running, the pump's running, but as soon as the power's cut, all the media spills out the top of it.
Over the edges.
Over the edges. So after many years, I did correct that because I was fed up of getting it all out the other side. But they work brilliantly if they're at the right level. And as far as flow rate goes, I have no idea what the flow rate on mine is because I've got a pump that only tells me what its revolutions per minute is. And it goes up to
got one of them flow frame type pumps, have you?
Yeah, it's similar. It's Eco Blue, and it's got a controller on it. And at the highest rate, it goes at 30,000 revs. And I actually run it on the Easy on the Nexus at about 20,000 revs. But I judge it by the speed it's turning round in the Nexus. You can see the water revolving in the Nexus, and Nexuses work best if they're working really slow. My bottom drain has got a pipe that comes directly under the Nexus and one bend up straight into the Nexus.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's all happening tonight, isn't it? It's all going wrong.
I'm just waiting for someone to say blankety blank.
Blankety blank. I don't know myself.
Brilliant filters.
Brilliant filters.
It's like any filter system, you know, you end up tailoring it to the way you run things and the way your pond wants to be run. You know,
Yeah.
you've got
Yeah, the other thing is, if you're going to load a Nexus up with the maximum K1 it can take, you do find you have to upgrade your air pump quite a lot to keep it moving. And the other thing is the air ring that's at the bottom of the Nexus, when it's supplied, they may have changed it for new ones, but the holes was too damn small in it. So I drilled mine out.
So is that too small or you're too small?
The original holes was just too minute to get the air through it. So I actually took a very fine drill and drilled all mine out. Lots of people put extra air stones in, but I've never had to do that.
Echoing.
Yeah, everybody's saying I see it myself now.
Yeah, still echoing
again. I shouldn't be getting it.
Tony, have you got your TV on watching YouTube?
No, I haven't got anything on. I've turned the sound off of the original YouTube as well, so that's not going because that used to do it. But this echo started when Gaz went off for his spag bowl, and the echo started when he came back.
Yeah, it did.
Damn it!
It's your fault, Gaz.
Be right back.
It's that spag bowl.
Oh my word!
Right, am I echoing now?
Nope.
I don't think I'm echoing now.
No.
Vincent echoing.
No, I don't echo.
No.
It's
No. So it's only when Gaz is on. Wow, if he just takes a break for the evening, we'll go from there.
Is that better? Has that got rid of it by me fully disconnecting and reconnecting?
Now Gaz has gone really, really quiet.
yeah.
Now you can't hear me because my audio's low.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, no echo.
Do I
No
echo?
echo.
No, I'm not echoing now. No, that's good.
No,
Yeah, you
Right,
sorted it.
that's it. Correct it.
cracked it.
God damn. So, guys, if you're ever doing a live and you put yourself on the bottom bar to eat spag bowl, make sure you disconnect yourself before you reconnect yourself, and then that way you won't get any more echo. I would have thought. I would have figured it. Me eating my teeth once rather than waiting till 1:30 in the morning.
Or have a chili con carne instead of a spag bowl. It might be all right then.
It could. But that's the reason. The reason why I ate the spag bowl off camera is everybody knows when you try to eat spag bowl fast, the first thing it's going to do is flick your face, or you end up with pasta whipping around all over the shop. And I weren't doing that on camera. So
you have to I practice every week with trifle to get it perfect. Yeah, it's just technique, Gaz.
So
you eat the whole bowl of that.
I dropped myself in bottom bar.
That trifle is meant to be for about 6 people, isn't it?
Yeah.
Angus Foley has asked us a question. How many gallons of water do you need per koi?
Well, it depends on the filtration.
Yeah, I was going to say exactly the same thing. I don't think it's so much gallons of water per fish, because it's the same or litres of water per fish if it were in a tropical fish tank. All depends on the filtration to an extent, but I know it's a heck of a lot. And if you worked it out, your average pond keeper with anything up to about 60 to 80 cm fish would only have about 5 or 6 if you followed the rule.
Like 1,000 litres per fish.
It's somewhat daft, yeah. It is a heck of a lot.
But we never follow the rules, do we?
No, you don't, do you, Tony?
No.
Yeah, definitely not. It all depends on your filtration, mate. If you've got a mass filtration system that you've got, you can keep a lot of it. Let's put it this way: when you go to your koi dealers or your fish shops and then all the rest of it, and you see anybody that's there, they'll have 300 or 400, sometimes 500 fish in no more than 4,000 litres of water. Now, because the filtration systems are very good, it can cope and handle that, and they can keep that amount of body of fish within there because the filtrations. But obviously, they're not going to be able to keep 300 or 400 fish that are all 60 cm. As the fish grow and progress, you need more space, you need more water. But it's one of them things. Exactly what it is would depend on the size of the fish and depend on the filter system.
Yeah.
So there's no, a koi can start off as a fingerling, this sort of size, and can grow up to 110, 150, 120 cm. So a fish at 120 cm is going to require a lot more literage or gallonage than what your average fingerling would. So the size would depend, or the mass would depend on how big your fish is and how good your filtration is.
And how much food you put in.
Yeah. Because all filters have got a limit to what they can actually remove.
Bucket loads in my pond.
But yeah.
So I just put, I don't get fed much either in dealerships. That's not true.
It isn't true at all. I mean, I saw what Rick threw in at his farms. I know he's obviously throwing them on, but I saw what he threw in the sales vats, and it was a lot more than what I expected. I thought it'd be a minimum amount, but it was, a fair few good handfuls went in there. A good scoop went in some of them with a bigger fish. So
yeah, we feed a good 5-6 times a day between the hours of 8 and 6.
Yeah.
You can't, if you don't feed them, they end up looking all slender and malnourished, to be honest. I've seen a video of a dealer a couple of weeks ago, which, to be quite honest, I was absolutely gobsmacked at how poor or how lack of food had gone into his ponds, and it was obvious. I'm not going to say who it was, but to be quite honest, it was quite concerning, mate, to be honest. I wouldn't want to be selling my fish looking like that.
And your fish, you lose that sort of sparkle as well, that skin quality, that all of that goes if you don't keep them
dull and
nourished.
Looking, you can just tell they look poorly, don't they?
Yeah, and they will, because they're lethargic. They've got no energy. And everything that a fish needs is food constantly. To be able to look its best. And you lose body too much. You mean, we don't feed to grow. We feed to keep them looking good.
Feed to maintain.
Them.
Yeah, but if you
there will be times, Crafty, where you will feed to grow, won't you? When you get your new setup done, where you've got fish that you want to bring in at Telesai and grow them on for a season.
Yeah, but you follow different feeding regimes, don't you? When you look at the main pond in my place, we've got a good 25 decent sized koi in there. You can't just not feed them. They've got to have a bloody good amount of food to keep the body on them. They're worth a lot of money. So, why wouldn't you keep them in good shape? And
you're not going to push that sale, if your fish is dropping off and deteriorating, nobody's going to be interested in buying it. It's got to be maintained.
But believe it or not, I do see people do buy them, Kaz. That's the problem, man. And I see people that have bought these fish, but unfortunately, sometimes, quite often, if the fish is not fed enough, when you start getting it into your pond and you start going in on the feed ratios that we do, it can actually create more problems for that fish, and that and the fish will die. Sometimes they're that malnourished that there's a point of no return. They just fall to bits eventually.
Yeah.
So just bear that in mind, man. Dealers should be feeding their fish. That's why they've got a pet shop license.
Yeah.
Next quick question we've got there then is from Yorkshire Koi. What do people think of pressure filters? Def cans or good filter?
Good filter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I would say
I personally think they've got their market, but on a koi pond, unless they're well maintained. No.
But
Depends what you're filtering.
Let's put that into context. All depending on how big your filtration is for the water that you've got and the fish that you've got in it. Okay, if you've only got 3 or 4 koi and you've got a decent size pressure filter, the pressure filter will handle that all day long.
Yeah,
and it's the same with most systems. It's the maintenance that's key. And unfortunately, the pressure system, the maintenance is key on any filter. And
but more so on a pressure filter.
More so, definitely.
100%. I would say I'd agree with that. Definitely, I would say with a pressure filter, if you're wanting to look after them properly, it's a daily cycle.
Yeah,
and a lot of these pressure filters that have got a handle that you turn or something you lift up and push back down, it's not cleaning them sponges. Yeah, you're not cleaning them sponges nowhere near what they need to be cleaned.
No.
And then because of that, you end up
build up a detritus inside there, and then
one thing leads to another.
They're not the best, are they? Obviously, I mean, they're well. Perhaps maybe a starter filter, or perhaps the next stage from your very, very cheap box filters.
No, not at all.
But I think
you look at Oase, mate. They sell quite a big range of pressure filters. Okay, and some of them are more than an easy pod. Some of them are about 900 quid.
I'm going to say you're talking nearly £1,000 pressure filter, which is not what your average beginner would be using, is it? I mean, your average person would probably go.
But again, even though you've still got a plunger system to clean it, which
you've got different ones. And all the ones that I've got flush out systems on them as well, so you can actually run them and flush them out and clear them through. Some of them are really quite good. But you're paying for that to get it to be that good.
At the end of the day, I wouldn't spend it on a pressure filter.
No.
Yeah, exactly. If you were going to spend 900 quid, why would you not go, for
an easy pod or
I'm pretty sure Richie of Shrewsbury Koi is running his pond on a pressure filter. He's got an easy pod in the garden that's been there for some time.
Might as well be a planter.
Yeah, but he is running it on a pressure filter, and he does look to be keeping that water really good. And the fish in there, and the fish are looking really good. But I think if you're going to run a pressure filter, you need to probably clean it via the mechanical, turny thing or pumpy thing every day. And you probably have to take it apart once a week and give it a more thorough clean.
That's the bit where people fall foul on their pressure filters.
Yeah.
Okay. And so much of it is in a can. You can't monitor how clean your sponges get other than by the flow of the water that comes out the waste valve. And a lot of people that get them are advised that because they're such a decent unit on a pump system that can really give you a low profile by digging them into the ground, because the way they set up, a lot of people tend to go with them that just want a garden pond with koi in it rather than your enthusiasts. The problem is that because they just want a garden pond and they're not enthusiasts, they don't follow that regime that they should to keep them going. Once every 2-3 days is enough just to push the dirt out the sponges in pond water and then drain away. But it's how many times you do it. I can guarantee most people, just from the customer flow that we get through the shop, most people don't do it, and it leads to lots of problems. I'd always sell an easy pod over a canister any day of the week.
I think some people run the canister filters or def cans, whatever everybody wants to call them. Some people use them as an assisted filtration system alongside something else, like a pre-filter, don't they, and such as that. Which I don't think that sense of it is a bad idea, but I wouldn't.
No, I mean, that's what I do with my fry
Unless
tanks.
you're getting like what Crafty's saying, the big massive ones, then yes. I mean, I've seen some on ponds over in the States that are absolutely huge. They're nearly 6 foot tall. They're fucking massive. And they've got them in half bedded into ground in a 5 foot hole, just so it's a foot above ground. And the flush out systems that come out of them, they're blasting 20,000 litres out of them, flushing them out. So, I mean, some of them are, but again, obviously, depending on what you pay for, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, what you pay for.
I find on their own, they're not sufficient. I have the pressure filters as a pre-filter for my fry tanks, and then it goes through a K1 chamber. And that seems to work for me. But I have to clean them out regular. Do the flush every day, flush it into a bucket, all the crap. It is a lot of maintenance.
But it's doable if you want to do it.
It is, yeah. It's a cheap filter, cheap way to set it up, and it works. I've never had any bacterial issues or anything with any of the fry tanks. So it works for me. But it wouldn't be my ideal choice for bigger fish. No way. I'd use multi-bay all day long.
We've got a question from Keith. Hi, what do you think about using ozone? I don't use ozone. I
don't know enough about it to cast an opinion, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I don't use it, never have used it, and apparently it's something that's been out for a real long time.
Hell of a long years and years.
Yeah, for me, I don't know enough about it to comment on it to be able to give any good advice one way or the other. To me, I would have just said it's just something again as things always do, come back up and being reintroduced, remarketed, rebranded, pushed back out there, and people are going to start using them and seeing whether there's any benefit to them. I don't know. I'm not going to say there isn't, because I truly don't know. But I know my pond's not had one on. My dad's pond's never had one on for all my life, and we've never needed one. So if it ain't broke, in my opinion, don't fix it.
Don't fix it. But I am thinking of putting one to the test.
Yeah.
Funny enough, though, last
You
week,
can blast all you want.
last week,
That's the beauty about it, though, Vince. Somebody on YouTube's thinking of having a go of it. People are going to get to see what it does, and you're going to get to see from a channel that puts out content regular what it does and whether or not it's worth it.
Yeah.
So that's not a bad thing, because if nothing else, we're all going to get to either learn from Vince's mistakes, or we're going to see the benefits of Vince's choice.
And the reason I want to give it a test is because I've been looking into it, and I've been watching stuff, and really you need to put the air that's going through the ozone needs to be in some kind of separate column.
yeah.
Now, for me, looking at it that way, the fact that I've got the airlift that runs a skimmer that literally pulls through a bit of floss, goes through the airlift and goes back into the tank, that to me is the ideal scenario to test it. And the fact that that tank runs at green water, because I haven't got a UV on it. Now, if it does what it says it's supposed to do, surely that green water should clear. In theory.
Ricky last week sort of put out quite a big warning, didn't he? Because the question was put to him. And he said you really have got to be careful using them. You certainly can't use it in a position, the air, if it's going directly into your biomedia or in your biomedia. Because
it's going to be nowhere near my biomedia, is it?
No, I'm not talking about you, Vince. But he said that it will kill your bio, basically.
Well, it kills bacteria, doesn't it? That's one of its aids, one of its jobs is to kill bacteria.
He also said that if it generates enough ozone, you shouldn't put it in with the fish. You shouldn't have the air going straight into the fish. He said if you're going to use it, it should be in a final chamber with just water in, that then finally returns to the pond.
with the ozone being depleted.
Yeah.
But he also said he couldn't understand how something that costs about 150 quid could do much for a decent sized pond, because for a good ozone
System.
piece of a kit, you're looking at 6,000 to 8,000 quid.
The thing is,
I'm just quoting Ricky.
If it actually works and it's been around for donkey's years, why isn't everyone using it? If it works as well as it's supposed to.
I've got a customer in the shop.
Last time I'd actually heard about ozone was about 15, 20 years ago. And it was a very regularly used thing back then in the day.
Why ain't it used now, then?
Because it's been superseded, mate.
It's classed as old school tech, isn't it, in that respect?
Yeah.
But the way I look at it is if these smaller units have been tailor made for smaller bodies of water, then why not give it a test? And what I'll do is I'll do it methodically. So it'll be like an hour a day.
Yeah.
For a week, see if there's any change.
I've got a customer in the shop, Vince. He's had ozone for about 10 years. And he has real good results on it. You know, he wears it up just for an hour a day, like what you was just saying. And it serves a purpose. You know, but it has been set up on a final chamber, like what you were saying a minute ago, Tone. You know, I don't know enough about them and how they operate in order to cast an opinion, but what I can do is share, you know, what I'm told by other people. You know, and that's why I can't really put my own personal stamp on it.
And this is why I want to test it.
Yeah, it'd be good too.
I mean, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, the only way to genuinely find out is to try it.
Yeah.
If you want to try it, but what I like to do, and I advise everybody else out there to do the same, is learn by other people's actions or mistakes, and let them do it first. And then if anything goes wrong, you know not to do it.
I to blame then.
But Vince's system is probably ideal to try it because it is in that last.
Anything happens, Vince. Don't take that the wrong way.
But it is in that last riser going to the pond, isn't it?
I could put one on the growing on tank in the shed, but then why would I put one in the growing on tank? Can you see what I mean? Because there's no need in that body of water, because that body of water is clear irrespective of the light and everything else, whereas that one over there, now for whatever the wattage it is, it'll probably work out cheaper in wattage to run that. If it works, then it will be running a UV.
Got to be worth a start, mate. Then you can tell me, you can come on here and you can tell everybody else, and you can put it out in videos and tell everybody else.
Well, it'll be documented anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
because
I can't knock anybody for having a try at something. For me, my way of looking at things is simple. Keep pond and fish keeping simple. That's all I want to do. I don't want it to be expensive. I don't want it to be complicated. I don't want it to be difficult. And man ain't broke, so I ain't going to fix it.
Yeah.
It's working apart from my crash, which was my fault, not the filtration, not the pond, not the fish. That was my mistake. I took my eye off the ball, my cockle. But when everything's running as it should be and I'm doing what I should be doing, my pond runs perfect. So I don't see, yes, all right, I'm saying perfect. Yes, my clarity could be clearer. I could get rid of the tannins, which is another thing it's supposed to do as well. Skegg, we were telling me the other week, this week. If it can remove tannins, yeah, but I mean, I could remove tannins by buying better quality food that don't put tannins in the first place. Would I want to put an extra electricity bill on my pond? No, I sure as I wouldn't. Not right now. Not at this price. Not at these costs. Not with the hikes that are going up as they are. If anything, I would want to be cutting back, not adding to. But that's just for me and my opinion. That's the beauty about this. You can sit and debate, talk, and have other opinions and other people's thoughts, and put it across like this. That's what it's for.
Skeggy's asking for a link, Gus.
Skeggy's asking for a link. It's at top of chat where it always is.
If you can't see it, mate, you need to click on the black bar at the top of the chat, and it drops down.
It says Gaza Koi Pond. Good evening, all. If you would like to join a link, just click up there, mate. It's up there.
I just want to come back to Chris Taylor because he's making a lot of comments about dealers, Gaz. Right?
Yeah,
Chris?
I just got down to that, mate. Liz has just been scrolling through.
Yeah, well, I didn't know if he was going to bring it, but as I mentioned it's fairly simple. The answer to that, mate, is it opens up a lawsuit. One, I'm a dealer, and number two, you need to make your own judgment on what you see. If I was to name the person or persons that I seen the video made from, I could actually be sued, and I'm not prepared to do that. So, because it's about business, and being in the business also makes it a little bit more naughty. So I do
cancel culture to walk that line.
You know, but you know, you use your eyes. You know what a healthy fish looks like.
Yeah, exactly.
If it looks malnourished, don't buy it.
There you go. Yorkshire Koi said there. The reason I asked is a friend starting a new pond about 1,000 litres. He is wondering what type of filter to buy that would the panel advise a few small koi and some goldfish on a budget. On a budget, mate.
Perfect fit.
Yeah. But remembering, obviously, your koi are going to grow, your goldfish aren't going to grow all that much, and he's going to want to add to it. But it's a nice way to ease yourself into the hobby. And as we all do, we all turn that 1,000 litres into 2, 4, 6, 8, and the hobby grows, filtration grows with it.
Yeah, what you've got to be mindful of is sometimes you can get like pressure filters, for instance, that are called themselves like a Spin Clean 1000, for example.
The link
in
the chat, Skeggy, top of the bar, right there.
Some of the kits that come with the pressure filters also have a pump that matches the size of the filter, and actually that turns the water over far too quick in a pond. Right, so don't buy a kit, buy the pressure filter. You're looking probably
with something that small though, wouldn't it be better with a box filter than a pressure filter? It's a lot easier to clean and maintain.
Not really, mate. The box filters now are few and far between, Vince, to be honest. I just don't make them like anymore. The pressure filter is sort of taken over.
I'm sure Blackton do a box filter because Ricky's got
but they won't
pond running on one.
Yeah, but they won't be brought into a store, mate, because they don't sell. No, but if you wanted a box filter, it's probably the easiest filter you could make yourself. Yeah, that's true. But just to go back to my original point, on a pressure filter, always look to double or triple the size that the pressure filter number is on the box. So if you've got 1,000 litre pond, look to get a 3,000 pressure filter, but then look to get a 750 to 800 pond pump if you can, because that's going to turn the water over at the correct rate. Because it's mental. People go, it's not doing well for me. And then when I start asking them, I've got one that's 3 times the size of my pond, but that's come with a 3,000 litre or 4,000 litre pump. I've only got 1,000 litres, so it's turning his water over once every 15 minutes. And that's where the problem lies, because they match the speed of the pump against the value of the filter.
Don't they crafty when they're selling filters as well? Isn't that not taking into account the fish that are going in? That's just purely turning the water over.
It's just purely without fish in it.
Yeah,
that's how they do their mechanics, mate. Yeah.
So you've always got to go bigger if you're going to put fish in.
Yes. Yeah. So
you are right. He's just put in the comments that all pond solutions do box filters as well as pressure filters.
Yeah,
Yes,
but
they do, and they
shop.
do bloody good box filters. Because I've got one sat here in the porch.
Yeah, if you want to get a box filter, don't buy one brand new. Get one off Face Bay, man, because they're cheap as chips and they're built exactly the same as they were back in the 80s.
Yep.
You know that. You know a lot cheaper. Still carry like price. You know, 120 to 150 quid for a preformed plastic pod. You know, it's just not worth the money, in my own personal opinion. When you can buy one, you know, that's second hand and used.
Oh, for 1,000 litres, there's no point with a pod, not unless you're going to chuck loads of fish in it.
Yeah, you know, but pressure filters on a budget at 1,000 litres, that's where that filter lies, and smaller ponds.
Yeah. Welcome in, Skeggy. We could hear your sound coming through again there. Then.
Thanks.
There we go.
There we go. Can you hear it echoing? If I mute you, mate. Or is it me again? It's not me again. Yeah.
That's not you again.
You can hear your sound coming through on your speakers, Kev. If you're still watching on your device as well as being on it, you'll have to do one or the other. Watch or don't.
Yeah, but you have to go back to your original YouTube and turn the sound off.
Yes, Peter, Screen Mac is a good filter. But again, the phones inside it do need regular maintenance.
And their price.
As Craft is saying, they are expensive.
And the motor on the belt is something that's quite problematic as well.
You can buy
reminds me of something from like Wallace and Gromit.
Gromit, yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that what Mick Lawson's got on his pond?
Yeah.
They are very good.
They are bloody good filters. Baz had one on his pond.
But I'd say the same thing like you said, Vince. They've got all those little shitty levers on the inside that you do all this crap with.
Yeah.
You still got.
You don't get them clean at all. Nowhere near.
No.
But with pressure filters, you can actually buy kits as well, pond kits, can't you? Where you get the pump and the pressure filter together in a.
Yeah, don't do it.
Should we not share poor practice amongst hobbyists?
No, we shouldn't. In a private forum, yes. On a public forum, no.
Not if you all want a lawsuit on your hands, because
No, and as it was proved to me at the koi show this weekend, you know, these koi dealers, they're watching us channels, and that it was proved to me Sunday by Coastal Koi, because as soon as I walked into that booth area, both the lady there and the gentleman there were telling me about stuff that I'd done on my channel over a year ago.
Yeah. Well,
so these koi dealers do keep up with us YouTubers that put out content. And I, for one, am not going to put myself into a position where I'm going to alienate myself from dealers.
Yeah.
Period.
I'm just going to, Chris, I'm just going to address something with you, mate, right? You'd have to be a complete, absolute idiot to go out there and publicly announce something on a live stream that's there forever till the day that should somebody like me take it back down again. And even then, when it's been taken back down, it only takes someone to go out there, record it, screen grab it, and it's there as evidence. Why would you put yourself up against the wall and say, do us a favour, mate, shoot me now? Because that's exactly what you're doing. Now, as an individual who might have an issue with a trader or a company, it's on you to go and take that to them and say to people if you dislike it. Another tradesman doing it to another tradesman would be liable. And if you're liable, then they're liable to prosecution. And prosecution comes with a big fat fine or a big fat bill. Unless you can prove what you're saying to be factual, which is very difficult to prove. And that's the reason why people don't run around running their mouth off without sufficient evidence or proof. Because in the eyes of the court of the law, that's what it comes down to. And if you haven't got it, then you're going to get sued for it.
Chris, you said you put on there transparency is key. I agree. Transparency is key, but in the right forum. Simple as that.
And the bit there where you've just said really disappointed week in, week out, there's only you clicking on your PC, mate, to come and watch. Nobody's forcing you to do it. This is just us to sit here, have a chat, have a natter between us all as friends about a hobby that we're passionate about. And that's purely it, pure and simple. If it disappoints you that much, don't let the door hit you on the arse on the way out, mate.
And I'm being transparent to a way of saying, you know, dealers don't feed their fish. They do. And I know what Si was saying wasn't based around how it come across. However, right, when I say you need to look at the fish and make sure that they're not malnourished. If they look malnourished, don't buy them because they come with problems. Sure. You can't be any
you just chip this off for me.
You can't be any more transparent than that, man. That's where the help to the hobbyist goes, mate.
You can stay good. No echo this time, mate. You're good.
I've got a headset in now.
Brilliant.
Well done.
Geg's all right, mate.
Hey, we can hear him.
Hello.
Yeah, Santa's evil fucking twin, look.
Right.
Before we go anywhere,
yeah, it's had a trim.
First of all, may I be the first on the panel to congratulate you on your 1,000 subscribers, mate. Well done, bud.
Yeah.
Well done, mate.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
As you were.
All right, let's talk about ozone. I'm going to be very brief because I've not got a lot of charge in the phone, so I can't have my headset in and the charger in. But yeah, ozone's been around for a long, long time, probably about 15 odd years. And you're right in what you say. Ozone generators used to cost thousands and thousands. They were very expensive and somewhat inefficient as well. But now the technology has moved on, and the technology now is far more efficient and far better at doing what it does. Hence, you find in Mark II, Mark III generators, and they're becoming more popular again for exactly the reason you said, Gaz. People want to cut their electric bill. Now, if you think of, say, the Mark II ozone generator that I've found through Eco Filtration, who make them, they run at 8 watts. So if you're running a 55 watt UV, they've just saved you 40 odd watts. But they're not running 24/7.
Could you just explain what the ozone does? Because you've got a very critical mind, yeah. Because there'll be people on it that doesn't know.
Okay, well, the way ozone is ozone is a gas, and it has a very distinct smell. If you had a really big thunderstorm, you'll smell ozone in the air. It's that really clean sort of smell after a thunderstorm. And the way ozone is generated is by passing oxygen through high voltage. And what that does is it tags another oxygen molecule onto O2 to make O3. Now, that oxygen molecule is bonded on very loosely, and all it wants to do is escape from the O2. It doesn't want to sit with the O2. It wants to break away and become a single and bind onto something else. So it works in a very similar way to potassium permanganate in that it's an oxidizing agent. And when it binds onto something like, say, chilinodella, it just kills it dead.
PP or HP?
PP. It's an oxidizing agent.
Okay.
So it basically oxidizes anything it can latch onto in the pond. So it will kill viruses, it will kill bacteria, it will kill algae, it will kill basically just about any single-celled organism in the water. It's a sterilizer. So where you have ultraviolet clarifiers and you have ultraviolet sterilizers, it's working more along the line of an ultraviolet sterilizer. but using the same sort of chemical way of potassium permanganate, where it's oxidizing. So you can basically measure how well the ozone is doing by measuring the conductivity of the water. So you use something like an ORP meter, and most ponds will run at about 250 millivolts. If you've got your ozone set about right, it will be running at about 400. If you're going above 400, you're sterilizing the water too much. So what you do is you wind your ozone back. So if you're running it 3 hours on, 1 hour off, you might run it 2 hours on, 2 hours off. But you wind back the. How's it?
Salt is more. Salt's more conductive, isn't it? Would that affect your water if you've got salt in?
Well, you'd take a baseline reading, wouldn't you, with your ozone off?
Right.
Because the ozone, you're still looking for that conductivity of 400, even with salt in the water.
Right.
400 is the most you want to go in any pond in any situation, because that conductivity tells you what you've got basically alive in the water. So if you put in, salt again will kill microorganisms. You put enough salt in, you'll sterilise a pond. Pardon?
That's because salt is a natural disinfectant. I said that's because salt is a natural disinfectant.
Absolutely, it is. And salt will kill things through basically dehydrating them. So it's literally sucking all the water out of organisms to kill it. And that's why if you put enough salt in, it'll kill anything. But ozone, as far as I know, and I've got to do a little bit more research, ozone doesn't actually get absorbed into the water like oxygen. It comes up in the air bubble stream, and because that air is going through the water, the third oxygen molecule is breaking away before it has time to be absorbed. So you end up increasing the oxygen level in the water, but you're killing everything at the same time. So the only time the fish are really in any sort of danger is if they come into direct contact with the gas. And I don't know many fish that swim straight through the bubble stream. They tend to go around it. But Seska came up with something really, really good earlier. And she's dealt with ozone for a long time with her reef tanks. And that was a 3-inch pipe with a load of holes drilled in it, almost like a spray bar. And then you drop your air stone down into that pipe, and it shields the fish from the airstream, but allows the water to flow in through all the air holes and get sucked in through the pipe. So it ends up like a riser. By the time it comes out the top, you've just got the ozone gas being used, being released out the top, and it doesn't actually come into contact with the fish, which I thought was a brilliant idea. But the best way would be to put a separate chamber after your filters, sort of after your filter as it's coming to a return, because you're absolutely isolating it from the fish.
Let me just address something for a last time. Chris, I totally agree, mate. Transparency is the key. It is the key, mate. Feel free to be as transparent as you want within this chat. But what you're asking of us to do is to put their job, their business, and their livelihood on the line by doing what you're not capable or not wanting to do yourself. Now, if you want to be transparent and you've got something you want to say, feel free. I'll leave it up there for everybody to lawsuit your ass with. And as for being rude, mate, I ain't being rude. You're in my living room at my pleasure, mate, not the other way around. That's enough.
Actually, Gaz, he's in your conservatory.
You're in my conservatory. There isn't no need for. I get what you wanted to do. I get what you wanted people to say. You wanted people to point the finger so somebody such as yourself or such as me or Daz or anybody else doesn't have to do it. But if you've got something you want to say, feel free to do it. It's entirely up to you what you put in that chat. You can put whatever you want. I won't monitor. I won't monetize you. I won't take that away from you. I'll allow you to put whatever you want. But somebody as a businessman doesn't have to do so unless you choose to. That's all we're saying. And that's it. Simple as. It doesn't need to turn each week. Transparency is key. Yes, it is. 100%. But you're not asking us to be transparent. Perhaps the person that you've got the issue with, that you want to be transparent, should be the one being transparent, not the people that have spotted something or seen something and have an opinion upon it. That's just my opinion, as you've got entitled to yours. But let's just enjoy the chat and just leave it as that, because as I've said before, I'm not coming to shit on your doorstep, mate. Don't come and do it on mine. Ozone, if you want to carry on, Skeg, mate, if you've any more you want to say on the stuff. Because I literally know nothing about it at all.
I've got any sweets.
When you get into it and start researching, it's fascinating what it will do. And it's well worth going and having a look on Google and going to some good sites and reading up on it, because there's a lot of very good information out there. And I think modern day generators they're very accurate in what they dose. I mean, something like the Mark II that I'm doing doses, I think it's 500 milligrams of ozone per hour. So it's not a massive amount. So I've spoken a lot to the guys that make it, and it will literally work on any size pond. And the difference being is sorry, Dad?
What sort of price are you talking about for a basic setup, Skaggy? Is it expensive or?
Well, at the minute I'm doing the generator for 120 quid, so it's less than a 55 watt UV.
So what's
does anything in there need replacing after a certain period of time?
Yeah. I mean, there's the actual generator itself, the spark unit, if you like, has to be replaced every 6 months. And that's 29 quid. But what it's doing over and above a UV is crazy. And
can I
the monetary? Yeah, Tony.
Can I ask you probably what's a silly question is, if you've got plants, does it affect plants?
No.
No. No, that's good then, because at the moment I haven't got
unless if you think about it, if you put it under your plants and it starts breaking down the organic bacteria around the plants and that sort of thing, all it's going to release is oxygen.
See, on my setup, I just have not got a chamber to put an air stone or anything into that's not either in bio or in the pond. So the only thought I have got is I'm going to be adding a veg filter or a river filter in the not too distant future, and it could go towards the end of that river filter, perhaps.
Funny you should say that, Tony, because I've got a bog filter in the end of mine that's got a little chamber at the end that's just got nothing in it, and I was thinking of trialing it, putting 2 air stones in there. But I've also got an idea to build a chamber that will also act as a foam fractionator, as well as somewhere to put the ozone outside of the pond, which I'm just toying with the idea at the moment of how to do it. But theoretically, with no ozone, you shouldn't need a foam fractionator, because it should be oxidizing all the leftover proteins and organics in the water.
Yes.
Sorry, I am just trying to interact as well, as because I don't know about it, but I love cornflakes. Scott, got to agree. Large physical bottles, the ones that make your eyes laugh. They're the good ones.
Oh, the super sour cola bottles. Oh,
yeah, super sours. Oh,
yeah. make your neck laugh.
Yeah, the ones that make you give you a shiver. Them ones are good. I like
Yeah.
them myself.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, ozone. I mean, yeah, Crafty.
What filter system do you run on your little puddle, mate?
On my puddle, I've got a homemade system on mine.
Yeah, I know, but
I've got a 35,000 litre an hour vary pump going up to a homemade sieve, down into an IBC with about 400 litres of K1 as a static bed, and then into 150-ish litre moving bed.
400 litres of static.
Yeah.
How do you clean that?
Same way as you clean an easy pod.
Big air pump.
120 litre a minute air pump.
Okay.
4 air stones. Yeah, 4 air stones. Boil it up, same as you would an easy pod. Drop it all out. I've got a 4-inch hole pipe down the bottom, so it draws from the bottom of the IBC.
Yeah.
And you just literally pull the slide valve, let it drain down, boil it up 3 times. It cost me about 2,000 litres of water to clean it.
Okay. That's cool.
Which is my 10% water change.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good idea.
And then obviously that goes into a moving bed and back.
Somebody just put in the comments, chocolate raisins. Sorry to change the subject a little bit, but
Chocolate
chocolate raisins. Anything that's dried and shriveled up, dipped in chocolate, should not be eaten, man.
Well, I'm going to up their chocolate raisins to a mint humbug.
But yeah, I'll go with that all day long.
Yeah. I'd rather have a chocolate fucking raisin.
Lighten the subject.
Yeah, but you're a bit of a freak, Vince.
This question.
Yeah, but thing is, chocolate raisins are easy when you've got no fucking teeth.
No. Yeah, Simon.
Go on. Now choke, you bastard.
I missed it, mate. Just type it out again.
I quite like roasted mixed nuts.
Yeah, then
Cheese nuts.
roasted almonds, salted almonds. There now.
Tony, I don't want to know about your Saturday night, thanks.
Those
Honey roast.
honey coated ones, yeah.
This question is going to kind of tie into what you've been talking about, as well as Ricky Brown says, "Hi guys, do you think in this day and age a lot of koi keepers are keeping their ponds too sterile?"
Sterile, no. Clean, yes. There's a big difference between sterility and cleanliness. And this is why you've got to be careful with the ozone, that you don't actually make your water sterile, because you can actually sterilize your pond. And if you sterilize it, nothing's going to grow. So not only will you kill the nasty bacteria, you'll kill the good bacteria, you'll just kill everything. You'll have no biofilm on the pond, you'll have nothing at all.
Which in turn will kill the fish.
In an extreme, you could kill the fish.
Yeah.
But with no bio and no biofilm for too long, you will kill the fish.
Yeah, but what you've got to remember, Tony, is if your ozone isn't going into your moving bed and isn't going into your filter, you won't kill your filter. What we're talking about is where the air can contact in the pond. So you can get air moving around the pond and it can take out the biofilm on the side of the pond and that sort of thing.
I wasn't associating the comment with the ozone, though, Skeggy. I was associating it with, can you have your pond too sterile?
Oh, nice. It was very lovely, darling.
Mickey's just said there, that's what I mean, too clean, not too sterile.
I think you can have it too clean, yeah. And I think a lot of the problems that are coming out now are because the fish's immune system isn't coming to contact with anything. And when something does hit, it hits very hard and very fast. And the only way to build up an immune system is to expose it to bacteria, bugs, colds, flu. With humans, it's colds and flu and being at school, and that's how your immune system builds. And your immune system, they'll remember all those things and knock them out. If a koi is kept in a totally clean environment, where literally every bit of dirt is removed the second it's created, as with drums, I think it can have a detrimental effect because the fish doesn't build an immune system.
That's why we do a QT process. We try and expose them to the likes of sleeping disease or KHV. With sleeping disease, you pull them through. Once they've had it, they'll not get it again. They build an immunity to it. So,
yeah.
But that doesn't.
You've got to have a certain amount of muck, I'm afraid, for your bacteria to work.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally true.
Exactly. And
one that makes me cringe is when people are taking a brush to the side of their ponds and scrubbing holy shit out of their pond walls, and it's just like.
And when they do it to Ouija pods,
yeah,
it's the worst thing you can do.
You some your initial bacteria. You clean your Easy Pod and you get a scrubbing brush and scrub the inside of it because it's gone a bit brown, and you've just knocked out half your body. People forget that the actual pond walls themselves are sometimes 75% of your filtration system. That ecosystem on the pond walls has far more filtration capability.
The ecosystem within the pond is part of it.
Yeah.
You know? But the only thing I wash away or scrub away is that little lip on the 320 where the water vortex is round. It catches so much shit. It don't matter how many times you backwash it through, it's still a little ledge for shit. So
I use a
wipe.
I use a swishing lump of wood. When mine is emptying in my 300, I put a lump of wood in and swish it round, because all of that crap that sat on the bottom, for it to go down the drain, you need to make it suspend in the water. So I swish it round.
With your swishing stick.
I got a swishing stick.
No, yeah, you know what I've got now? I've got a vision of Tony in a pointy hat, swishing his neck so it's going, hubble, bubble, boil and trouble.
Yeah.
Little witch's hat.
For Halloween.
It's big cauldron. Yeah.
Or his cricket bat.
But that's all I do. I just make sure the water's well swished round and all that crap is suspended and goes down the drain.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Oh, do you think this Big Rick, hi Gaz and all the panel, hope all is well with everyone from Big Rick Sophia in Haggisland. Is that
Wales?
Rick, John? It's not our Rick, that is it? That's
not our Rick.
In Haggisland.
I think you'll find that's Sophie and her dad that keeps changing their YouTube name.
Keep changing their name. Yeah. They pop in every time and say hi, guys.
Yeah, but it's normally in a different name nearly each time, which is one that confuses the heck out of me.
Yeah, but they do that to confuse.
That's it. Keep you on your toes. Well, if anybody else, sorry, I did have a question up there and I dropped it off. Jamie from Life Around the Koi Pond has a question. What's the best way of transporting fish in bags, canned oxygen, cylinder, not can, or just a bag twist for a 40-mile journey? Thanks.
Koi oxygen.
40-mile journey.
If it were me, mate, what I would do, because you never know, 40-mile journey, you say it's just a 40-mile journey. It only takes that accident or a bit of a traffic or whatever, and that 40-mile journey can turn into an hour and a half, 2 hours. So get yourself from Amazon a little oxygen cylinder and have it sent out here. They're about 20 quid for what they are. There'll be enough there to bag up all your fish. Bag them up, double bag them, put a bit of oxygen in there. Nice and tight knot. Jobs are good, mate.
But you say that though, Gaz. look at the time you came down to pick up that Mr. Unusual fish of yours. I had that bag up with an air pump, and you was in traffic for almost 6 hours.
But that was one small fish. If he's wanting to put George and Mildred, which are like,
it's good practice.
Yeah,
A bit of oxygen won't go. You'd hate to get there, mate, and not done it and lose them all. That would be.
Put them in boxes as well.
You know,
Boxes that are all about sideways on. So
the other thing that you need to take into account as well. Yes, use oxygen, but also take your fish off feed minimum of 3 days before you bag them.
Yeah, so there's less ammonia produced into the bag then. And when you put them
what's a paintbrush?
Don't put them in that way, front to back. Put them in that way so that when you're going and breaking, they're not smashing the face into the back of the bag every time. Because if you do, you end up with a bruised nose like my chag did on my way home, because I made that mistake, mate. Put it wrong way around. And it took about
worse, you can break the toe.
Yeah. So put them other way, mate, so that when you're going around the corner, it's a gentle thing, as opposed to if you have to break ash and you're in eat a lot of trouble. Let's see if we've got any more.
I take it from that comment though, they've got the house sorted out.
Looks like it, yeah.
Because last time they had one, it fell through.
Yeah.
I think Reg Coy Dorset has said, I'm thinking of running it through the summer months and not the winter months. I'm guessing you're going back to the Ozone. Is that good practice, just running it through summer months and not necessarily needing it as much in winter months?
I'd say you probably need it as much in the winter.
Would you?
If you're running it as antibacterial, then yeah.
But do you not agree with what Rick was saying the other week when you turned around and said the only way you get bad bacteria in your pond is by introducing it? If you're not introducing it, where does the bad bacteria come from?
I think you can.
But you can create bad bacteria from poor maintenance.
Very poor maintenance.
But you
that'd have to be very poor. I mean,
you got to go down some
serious bad
route to get that.
I always have a problem with people. I always have a problem with this. You can create bad bacteria from poor maintenance. You look at the amount of ponds that get left and neglected when people get older and that sort of thing, and people go and do pond rescues. Adam Julian did one. A house that had been abandoned.
Yeah.
The Green Water Pond, where there was a box filter on. The fish that came out of that pond, okay, they weren't top show quality fish, but the skin quality and there wasn't a problem with one of them.
No.
Davey, Black Country Koi Boat, went and stripped out a pond that you couldn't see an inch into the water, and the quality of the fish that came out of that. And when he looked in the filter, it was literally chock-a-block. It was all going down the overflows and straight back into the pond. It was absolutely full of silt. So I think there comes a point with poor husbandry. I think it's that halfway house husbandry where the pond hasn't built a full ecosystem of its own. And it's kind of halfway between a show pond and a natural pond. And it's that in-between stage where nothing's really in balance either way. And I think that's where the problems come, rather than it's just been left to its own devices or it's bang up there as a show pond.
Question there from Phil. Says, hi everyone. Just had my pond fiberglassed. What are people's thoughts on cleaning it before putting the fish back?
A lot of people rub salt all over it, don't they? And then
if it
salt rub
out. Yeah, if it was me, I'd be gently nibbing it back with a fine to make sure you've got no little bits and nubs in it.
Sharps.
Yeah, you don't want any sharps on. So a fine nib back, providing that your guys that did it for you already haven't done that. After that, mate, I'd be giving it a solvent wipe out to make sure that you've got no toxins because the solvent will evaporate. But once you've done that, I would then give it maybe a bacterial clean out as well, as in fill it up, run it through a cycle system, give it a good flush out, drain it down, fill it back up again.
Yeah, make sure you run it through before you put all the koi back in.
Yeah, that's what I would do. But if anybody thinks anything different, please do.
When I had the toe-side tank fiberglass, then I filled that up. I filled it up, got the system running, and I ran a heavy dose of PP through the system. And then I put fish in, I think it was 24 hours later.
Yeah. Don't just fill it with water and bang
The
it.
general rule is to fill it, drain it, and fill it again. Is 2 refills. The general rule of thumb, just to make sure any styrene and whatever's got out.
Fiberglasses have done their job properly. You shouldn't have to worry.
Yeah, I mean that's what I mean. Most fiberglasses, I would have thought, would panel wipe it out and prep it back, degrease it, and clean it all up to make sure that there's no contaminants in there. First of all, they'd probably nib it back afterwards, and then after that, they'd de-panel wipe it and clean it back out again. Then on to you, I'd top it up, fill it up, PP bath it, and just run it through, and then drain it down and fill it back up again. If it is a big pond, mate, you're making sure you're getting rid of anything that could be in there. But at least better being safe than sorry, especially if you've got some good quality fish that you're putting in there.
The main problem with fiberglass is styrene. Because styrene is very heavy and it sits at the bottom of the pond. When you fill it, it gets absorbed into the water, and then it's a toxin to fish. So the thing to do is, the reason they say is to fill it twice. Is the first fill absorbs all the styrene out of the bottom of the pond. Then you get rid of all that water because it's basically got toxic chemicals in it, and then you refill it again. But the styrene by then has gone and been absorbed by the water, so you're getting rid of the styrene, and you've got fresh water in there.
There we go.
Just a bit of science.
Life Round says, thanks guys, so can you verify plastic boxes with air stones? No. Or plastic bags.
No, and
plastic bags full of water with your fish inside the plastic boxes, yes, as storage for moving them, but don't leave them in there in a cardboard box or a plastic box. Don't just put them straight in a box, because that box, the first time you break, mate, all that water will be all over your boot. That's what I'd go with.
I think the only there was a dealer up at where was it? Coventry, I think, that had built a fiberglass tank on a trailer to transport all his fish up with air stones. I think the only way you could do that would be, say, an IBC on a trailer, with some sort of air stone in it. That'd work.
Have you any idea how much swell and sway there is in an IBC? A cubic square of water. The amount when you break with that amount of that water is, see, when they've got it in a fire engine, they've got baffles throughout the system. Yeah. So when they break, the water's baffled to prevent swill.
Yeah.
When you're driving down the motorway with a ton of water behind you and you brake, you ain't braking for long, mate, because that vehicle's just going to spin out on its ass and that water's going to be all over the place.
Yeah.
It's not a good idea to transfer anything without baffles.
In a plastic bag, I think.
Not to that size of scale, unless you've got something. You mean you're going? I'm obviously guessing you're going to be going down motorway, a 40-mile journey. You don't want to be travelling down motorway with a cubic ton of water behind you, because it ain't going to end well at all.
No, I've tried moving water like that before, and it doesn't end well.
I guess it depends how if you're filling the IBC to the top, then you're going to have a problem. If you're only half filling it, then you're not really.
We are filled it. One of those big blue vats in the back of the van, Skeggy. Went down to Essex, picked some fish up, come back, go all the way back, had to brake sharp once, and the water shot out the tank, went through the hole that got put in the bulkhead of the van, straight into the cab, all down the windscreen. It was like being pressure washed. It's not a good idea.
Yeah, trust me, as an ex-fire officer and being traveling
but to be
vehicle full of water, it's not a good idea at all.
To be fair, the brake trailer has a damper on it to stop that sort of thing happening. You know, so it depends what you're using.
It's a rougher ride in the trailer than it is in the van.
You got 35,000 gallons on a fire engine, and the only way that they can prevent it from swelling around is by baffling the tank, so that it slows down.
But what I'm saying is, Gus, is there's a dealer down Kentway. I can't remember which dealer it was now, but he's actually got it on his YouTube channel, and he had it up at Coventry, and he's built a trailer that is a series of vats that he can basically transport his fish in rather than banging them all up. Now, whether he has some sort of magic in there that stops that, I don't know, or whether he's got some sort of damper system or something, I don't know. But
the only way I can see that it would work is if you had a bag inside the container to contain the swell of the water and stop sloshing out.
Yeah. I think it'd be a rough old ride for the fish.
Yeah. Half full, 3 hours drive, never lost a drop. But did you have to do an emergency stop?
And the thing is, how do you make an IBC watertight and get fish in and out of it? Most people have to cut the top off to get the fish in and out. As soon as you do that, you've lost your waterproof. I mean, how do you seal it? Difficult.
Yeah. Why would you need to seal it?
Yeah, but if it's only
sloshing out when you break or move.
Yeah, if it's only half full, I think it would be swishing about so much the fish would have a real rough time of it in there.
Yeah, you'd lose half your water. Be like
I don't think so. If you were half full, I reckon you'd be all right driving.
That's what I thought. But we got the van half full and it still emptied itself.
I'll tell you what. When I sort the car out with the tow bar, I'll do an experiment. I'll stick an IBC on my trailer, and I'll go round for a drive around Lincolnshire roads. Yeah. Now Lincolnshire roads are like dirt tracks. Yeah. If that's going to lose water, that'll lose water on the Lincolnshire roads with all the twists and turns and bends and everything. And I'll half fill it, and I'll do it for science. I'll half fill it, and I'll mark where it's full to, and then I'll see how much is left when I get back after 20 miles.
Yeah.
Because you can't drive Lincoln.
You just explain to police why you're travelling around with an unsafe load.
Won't be classed as an unsafe load. Won't be classed as an unsafe load.
Actually, wrap it down well.
The only way it's classed as an unsafe load is if it's putting the car out of control, or if it's leaving debris that could affect or if it's leaving debris that can affect other road users. I tell you what, I've seen a lot of farmers around here towing IBCs, the top cut off with the water on. A lot of them, because they use it with all sorts.
Yeah, but that's a sealed container. You've got your screw lid on the top, you've got your tap on the front, so they'll empty it from either one of those.
No, with the tops cut
They've
off.
just got the top cut off.
I see it every day a week, and they're using it on building sites on a Manitou or a forklift truck as they're driving down them. As soon as they brake, and all that water just goes whoosh straight out of it.
Every day. There's no fish in them though, is there?
No,
good job.
I just don't like the idea of the fish swooshing about in quite a large amount of water.
Let's face it, a guy on a Manitou on a building site is not actually being that careful about his driving. He's just whizzing around the building site, and if he drops that, it doesn't matter. If you've got 10 fish in the back, you're going to take extra precautions, going to be bigger braking distances, you're going to take it a little bit more gently than you would normally.
You can be as careful as you like driving, but you can't take into account some knobhead pulling out in front of you and you're making your brake sharp.
No, you can't. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
The
That's what my
Japanese have
wife
got
shouts
moving
at.
fish down the mountains in a little K truck, but they
Yeah,
use zip bats for moving them. But
yeah,
that's over very short distances, mate,
yeah.
where they're not racing around and they're not on a motorway doing 70 mile an hour.
And that's like a soft zip-up bag thing inside a cage, which kind of suppresses a lot of the sloshing about. That's why they do it. Never zip top.
Yeah. Anyway, it'd be good fun. Whoever's thinking of doing it, please record it because I would love to watch that for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
When you waterproof.
there's a comment there. Yeah, the Japanese do move all their fish in quite big vats with zip tops, but they travel at a sort of 2 mile an hour or something across their
Don't
farm.
be daft.
Gosh, they do. I seen it done in Poland, and they were trundling. We was walking as fast as the vehicle that was moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're talking a bit different of like a few hundred yards in Poland to like they're transporting them 20 miles down the side of a mountain to the fish house in Japan.
Yeah, very slowly.
They're not travelling like a quarter of a mile. They're travelling miles and miles and miles.
Yeah, but you would assume with that like 70 grand's worth of fish in there, they'd be doing it very slowly because I sure as hell would be.
Yeah.
No, because to them
it's down
it's
hillside at 100 kilometers an hour, thinking, "Come on, we've got to get these fishing quick."
come on, them little vans don't do 100 mile an hour. But I reckon they're probably doing 20 or 30 mile an hour.
They're like the Bedford Rascal used to be, aren't they?
Yeah.
You used to have one of them. You used to have one of them.
A sooty van.
Brilliant little van. They used to play with your head because the wheels were behind you. The front wheels were behind you.
Yeah.
I've got to see these. I'll send you some pics on Facebook of my IBC only filled halfway. You haven't sent me a picture of your journey, have you? You got to admit that there were probably a few times where you braked hard and thought, "Oh shit!" Because that weight from behind you pushing you.
We've gone from koi talking to how to create a bow wave in the back of Daz's van.
Yeah, wash the van out, lovely though.
1,000
I bet
meters
it
on an
Fucking hell. Jeez.
Has anybody else got any more questions or any more topics that you would like us to chew over?
Yeah, I'd like to ask Dad a question. How clean were his tools after his fish transport?
Spotless. And the back. And the aircon system.
Mind you, the thing is, after I did that, I ended up having to have a load more welding work done on the side of my van. So it probably rotted it from the inside out.
I got a question. One that I've asked somebody that's quite experienced about this. So I've been told the answer, but I think there's a lot of confusion about it with people. When does a tosai become a nisai? Because with human beings, us humans, you have a child. You have a child, and it gets to its first birthday, and it's one, but it's still one until it gets to its second birthday, and then it's two, and so on. Now, I've been told that tosai become nisai as soon as they become one.
Now, I heard a different thing, in that it's a count of how many springs. So, at their first spring, it changes. So, at the start of the season, their age changes from tosai to nisai to sansai and so on. Regardless of when they were born. If they were born in October, they change at the start in the spring. Crafty will probably know.
Well, I would have thought it would have been. You've gone through it was spawning in the spring, through to the next spring to be a tosai, through to the following spring would be nisai.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not saying that.
But in the same conversation I had with this person, and I'm not going to be transparent and tell you who it is either. But
you're actually both right.
But he said that a lot of fish now are being sold as jumbo tosi, when in actual fact they're nisai.
That's small nisai.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, they're chibi nisai. They're the chibi nisai, yeah. So
Chippy nisai, back off.
So, well, that's what they call. That's what their terminology is. Okay, so a tozai is a tozai until it hits its second year. However, in Japan, it could be that it was spawned in October, for example, but come the spring, it will go into a nisai mud pond and become nisai. So it all depends in which terminology you're looking at. For us in the UK, tozai is 1, nisai is 2, etc., etc. Okay, so that's how we define it.
Yeah.
There you go.
So you could buy a Japanese nisai, but it's actually a tozai in the UK.
Yeah,
It could be. Yes, it all depends when they harvest that pond.
I mean,
Confusion reigns.
Measure it in months, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Month-old fish.
go from spring to spring.
depends on the temperature. Again, Peter, you're right there, because if it's being kept under heat, then technically it's well over a tozai, because it's heat growth years then.
Yeah.
All relevant, Rick. I'll catch up on that. Got all relevant there for you, mate.
It's all relative.
Relative. God damn it.
It is all relative.
Kerry Coy
Yeah,
says, I
get it
learned
in
the
there.
hard way with this when I moved house 4 years ago. Vat in the back of a van, got caught up at a roundabout and gushed of water in the van, and the vat and its side, the fish flapping everywhere.
Yeah.
A hat full of water.
Lovely.
Depends on the temperature. Again, yeah.
Kerry.
Here's a good one, Crafty. I got a question for you. All this about transparent peck fins. If their peck fins are transparent, they're tozai, and they lose their transparency at nisai, and that's how you can tell a true jumbo tozai.
No, not
Is there any
really,
truth
mate.
to that?
Not to
I
my
was just wondering,
knowledge.
'cause I'd never heard of it, and I heard it a couple of times.
I've heard of it a couple of times.
When you're photographing fish, the younger the fish are, the harder it is to catch the edges of the peck fins.
Yeah.
You'll find that you'll only catch like half. The other half you'll see, but a lot of the time when you see overexposed images, it's because they're trying to bring the peck fins out because you don't see it. But that all depends on the variety of your koi. And
I was just going to say that. Does that mean that some of those fish at the Newark Koi Show at 80 cm were tozai?
no, it all depends.
There were fish there with transparent fins.
There is an element of truth to it because obviously
A certain
as
breed,
fish
yeah.
get bigger, there's more in the fin that can be physically seen. It's not as thin, so it's got more volume to it.
So they become a little bit more opaque rather than translucent.
That's a good articulate way of putting it, Gaz. Huh?
There you go. I get a message.
Well,
Anybody else got any more topics they would like to discuss or talk about this evening, or we're going on to the Koi Appreciation Hour?
Oh, we got appreciation.
oh,
We have, yeah.
I thought that was next week.
No, it's this week, mate. All week, always. It's this week because we was going to do it every other week's gig, and then people started saying, "What about doing this one?" And then this one. And we ended up with
Bugger.
10 in a row to go through because it was going to take us like 20 weeks to go through them.
One of my best fish is my Benny Kikakuri.
You still got time to send a picture in?
Well, send
Go out there with a
the
flashlight.
picture in, and I will share it again regardless next week. Anyway, mate.
All right. Okay. I'll try and get you a picture this week.
I've got a quick question for you. As a leading judge, somebody that will know this more than probably anybody. Transparent pecs on a younger torsai, as it becomes an older fish, is there any truth in you can tell a torsai is a torsai by having transparent pecs? Let us know, mate, please. I would appreciate your feedback.
Here's the man that I know.
He's back.
Yes, he's back.
The Emperor.
Alan Tate's back.
Do, 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 do.
Missed loads, Alan.
Ah, right, there you go. Nishiki Goi, or Nishiki Goi, means jewel car, abbreviated to koi, nisai. Nisei, koi over a year old, under 2 years. More like 18 months to 8 months old. There you go. The abbreviation of it breaks it down in the Japanese to English.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate that. Can't tell what it's like. Let's see if Alan.
Now we
Alan
need
says,
someone that speaks Japanese.
right, so hang about, Alan. Thank you very much. I haven't used this one in absolutely ages. Here we go.
What's Alan referring to being bollocks?
Transparent.
Transparent. Now that's what I call bullshit statement of the week. Thank you very much, sir. Because it's absolute bollocks.
There's a lot about transparency tonight, isn't there?
Seems like it's all relative. There you go. Chris, exactly, Alan. Bollocks of the Week award. I should make another one, Bollocks of the Week award as well. Just have a big set swinging.
But which statement are you talking about being bollocks?
That torsai have transparent fins.
Oh, right.
I do like that one. That one I prepared slightly early, but it's the bullshit statement of the week instead of the bollocks statement of the week. So I've got to make a few more of them.
I can be a bit
We haven't had the
slow
Vince.
sometimes.
We haven't had the Vince. You should have played the Vince.
Yeah, he's got all
You should have played the Vince warning for Tony.
Do I need to make one?
I only repeated what was on the screen.
Yeah, but yeah, you need to make one for Tony. Yeah.
That would be an absolute pleasure to have one.
You know that I'm almost responsible for these little
Is that
things.
the real
I
Gary
sent
Webb?
Gaz the original photo.
I don't think that is, and if it is, he's changed it. That's going to be again. God damn it, man. Ah, you just. Gary, I apologise. Send me a private message if that was you that I've just deleted, but I very much doubt it was. Just somebody else coming in being a.
Yes, Elizabeth, it is very similar to bullshit. It's just the British way of saying it.
What's that? What was that one?
Bollocks is your build sack, love.
What does bollocks mean?
It's your build sack. Simple as that.
It is. It's another form of what a load of shit, what a load of bollocks, what a load of bullshit kind of thing. Yeah, exactly that, Elizabeth.
In fact,
And Gaz
a lot of you out there are probably
demonetised
too
himself.
young to remember this, but Jasper Carrot does a whole comedy sketch around the word bollocks, and he goes to America and he sees this number plate and it's got the words bollocks on it, and he's in fits of laughter. And the woman's going, so what's so funny? He's like, heard the number plate. She's like, well, what does bollocks mean? Right, it's just another word for zit. 6 months later, she comes over to the UK, goes to the chemist, said, you got anything for these bollocks here?
DT Coy's asked us for Gaz, give us a rundown on all the little clips like BS Statement of the Week, please. Gaz hasn't seen them in. Sorry, I haven't seen them in a while. In fact, you know what? Why the hell not? And if anybody else has got any good ideas for any others, feel free to let me know, and I shall make some more. So let's have a quick look.
I think the Americans favour horse shit over bullshit, don't they?
Now that's what I call bullshit statement of the week. But I'm going to hit you with that one, Tony, just in case. And then that one's purely for Simon Shears because he loves to come on with a conspiracy.
Vince the Twisted won the GKP at no count accepts any liability.
We've got this one that I used to normally use for Skeggy because he used to blag the hell out of my head.
Let's go.
And that was normally.
Yeah, but you understand gibberish now, don't you?
I do now. I'm very mastered. He used to try to. Yeah. Now
I've trained him well.
And we.
Dad joke of the week goes to.
I think Elizabeth just said they use horse and bull, I think.
All right, here. Talk about dad jokes, yeah? When I was in Denmark, a Hungarian guy came up to me and said, I've got a brilliant dad joke for you. Do you want to hear it?
Go
on. What is a Jew's favourite sport?
This is edgy.
This could be a difficult one.
Go on then.
Judo.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it is a dad joke.
See, I told you it's a dad joke.
It's a fucking wank joke. That is the wankest joke I've ever heard.
You got the sophisticated Vince look then, and he just went like this. I'll demonstrate it.
That is the wankest joke I've ever heard, ever.
I mean, that is the dad joke of all dad jokes as far as I'm concerned. He was very proud of himself.
What you call a fish in Hawaii?
Me too, mate. You know, you're all good.
Fish.
That's why I said it could be edgy. Send him back
It's not
to
edgy.
Denmark. Oh, dear.
Got a good one. Wills, yeah.
Oh.
I've told Wills this, but my little lad, he can't say Wills. Yeah. He calls him Wheels. So every time I've got him on the TV, he goes, Dad, it's Wheels.
No.
So when you see me call him Wheels, son, in chat, that's why. Because he's a bonsai master, so he has to be called son. Yeah. But he's Wheels.
Alan Tate's watching this.
John Cope, you're right, mate. That was definitely a Christmas cracker joke. Dog shit is what that was. Rob and Chris Sweet, where I'm from in the US, we say crock of shit. We're all farmland here, so we don't want to offend any moneymakers. Don't want to be using bullshit or horse shit, do they?
Now, crock of shit's a good English term.
Yeah, I want to say this it's one we use over here as well.
Yeah, I use that.
What's up, Crafty? We got a what's up, Crafty from DT. He's got absolutely no idea where this is going. That's what's up, mate. It just gone down a tangent of all.
Crafty looks like he just wants to like melt away into the background somewhere.
I'm like, fuck
Crafty
me,
must
man.
have some
Let's
dad
move
jokes.
fucking shitty fucking judo jokes.
Yeah, that was definitely.
No comment.
Definitely give Skegger the
Jokes of the
week there with that one. Mike Bass, the reason why I made that one was for Mike Bass, because Mike Bass, when he used to come on quite regular, he used to open every evening with a dodgy joke, followed by Mr. Tropical Koi. And between him and him, they'd have a couple of little banters all the way through, and it was to try and promote them and giving them. Talking about Mr. Tropical Koi, he was going to join us this evening.
He was, wasn't he? Yeah.
He was going to join us, but I'm guessing he's obviously changed his mind.
He might possibly be asleep by now.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. Passed on. Yeah.
Bless his cotton socks.
I did, mate. That definitely did. My wife just said to remind me she let the dog out, or let the dog out. Which reason why she said that is of a day, you hear this funny noise and thinking, what the hell is that? And he'd been outside, sat on the doorstep for about half an hour.
But he's a cockapoo. He's got plenty of padding.
I'll tell you one thing, it's definitely a cock, that dog. such a knob he is. It's so funny. He is bad. He's not bad. He's just Have you ever seen a dog? Has anybody ever seen a dog go for a walk and when he's had enough, turn around and fakes a limp? And he gets back in house and he forgets which legs he was using and starts limping on the opposite side.
Or you could have a female long-haired chihuahua that cocks her leg when she pisses. She squats and cocks her leg at the same time. You're like, really?
Indecisive. Mexican, mate, that's the problem. She's crazy. Right then, let's get into a bit of koi appreciation.
Yes.
Why the heck not? Now, excuse me, guys, because again, people posting pictures.
What the bloody hell was that?
In between.
Sorry, that's me sneezing.
Is that what you call it?
I thought someone was choking the chicken.
Now with this one,
a euphemism.
We're going to go into the koi appreciation. I'll try again. But there will be a few of the random pictures mixed up with them because people posting at different times. And I'll say it again, what I probably really need to do is start giving so as I said, random there, believe it or not, is a badger running across the road with a dead koi.
I saw that earlier.
They lost one of their older koi, and they put it out for you know to give it to someone else as a chance and opportunity to have a good feed. Now, unfortunately, there's 500 dead badgers in the local neighbourhood.
Oh, yeah.
I want you to look at it. You would not have thought that, would you? That
that's a big koi too, isn't it?
That was about 60 centimetres.
Oh, not 90 centimetres.
Ozone pipe.
Yeah.
You want to put that on after, Gaz? That's Seska's ozone pipe.
There's no video though. It's just that picture. That's all we've got. But I will bring it up again later on. First one we've got is Elizabeth Ann's, and these are her Kikikuru. That's nice.
Yeah, the black and white one's nice.
Lovely.
Is it butterfly? It's almost butterfly with those pecs, isn't it?
No. I don't think that one is, but there are a lot of other butterflies in there. And again, another one.
Now, is that a Benny Kikikuru or is that a Deutsch Kajaku?
That's what I thought too, mate. But I think in a shot in a minute you get to see the Deutsch Kajaku come in, so I'm not sure. So there's the other one. Yeah, I reckon that's Deutsch Kajaku. But I'm not.
Yeah, I would say that's Deutsch Kajaku.
Yeah.
But that one is stunning. I like that.
Nice.
A bit of yellow in its back, isn't it?
Good bit of body on it.
And Chris, you're right. The water quality in that pond is banging.
Wicked.
If it just didn't have that bit of yellow on the pack, that would be perfect.
Gav, I'll come back to your question afterwards, mate. Now, these are Sally Hartfield's fries, so I'm going to skip through these because we ain't got none of them within them. Now, this one was one that was added in as part of tonight's Koi Appreciation, but unfortunately, that isn't what we asked for. Anybody want an idea? Tell me
That's a
what it is.
Deutsch
Koi-
Kinki Matsuba.
Matsuba, yeah.
And again.
Pretty one.
It's
At
a
that.
nice one.
Yeah. I've got one of those.
Can't really see a lot of that.
Dino been using his bait bucket again.
No, this is Amanda Smith's, but at least it's not an Asaga.
That's not a Benedict Curio.
Now this one, she asked if we could actually do some of the strange and weird and wonderfuls, and I was hoping that Amanda might come on and join us tonight so that she could say, can we have strange, weird and wonderfuls? For example, she has this one with an eye missing, and I think the other one has a peckless one.
Oh!
So, one peck missing, one eyeball missing on the other fish. So if you come on, Amanda, and you want to put that forward for all the weird and wonderfuls, we could end up with some right fish to be looking at. But
For saying that, I saw a couple of fish in the vat. One of the vats Adam Boyer had with a couple of peck fins not on them.
yeah, I saw one in another one as well, Vince, too, mate. I forget which company it was, but it was a Kajaku with a peck missing.
Yep.
That's obviously not to do with it, nor is that all that. So I think already we've got to the end of the stuff that we've got. Not very many sent through this week at all. So we'll minimize that and we'll bring up the viewers' fish. Now this one is Dino's. With his little message to John.
I told you it'd be in his bait bucket.
The bucket's a bit small for it.
Nice skin luster.
Nice.
So that's his first one, and I'm pretty sure we are. That one being his second.
That's a nice fish.
It's nice, but I still prefer the other one. It's cleaner.
Yeah, the symmetry was better on the other one, pattern wise.
Now that one is Daz's. That's very
Is that
nice.
the one you got the other week, Does?
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Bastard.
It's a beautiful fish.
Thanks, Vince.
It's a beautiful fish, that.
It
And
is.
That Daz was given when we went down to see Rick at New Forest Koi for all that excellent work we did.
That one actually came out of the Munger tunnel.
It
Did,
did.
mate, yeah. Now, I have got a photo to show you that fish before it looked like that. And I'll show you when Rick sent it through, which is your fish now, like that, and how it was before it went into the Munger tunnel. That one's one of Daz's as well, which has gone extremely dark, hasn't it?
Yeah. You won't think it was the same fish as the photo. I've got a photo of it earlier on.
And these are all Daz's selection of absolutely tons of them.
That fish just at the bottom there, just gone off out of, just coming back round. No, it's that one, sorry, there. Just at the back of the yellow and white fish. That was the black one. It's orange
Now
and
look
white.
at the, when we did a blue, any blue koi, and Daz didn't put that fish in.
I know. I couldn't catch it. I needed my stain net. Yeah, that.
So that one there,
top
Daz, is the one that's on black.
Yeah, the top now. Yeah.
With
With just a couple of orange patches on it. All the white has turned to black.
Nice.
And that's the end of that little bit because it goes into something else. So the next one.
That's another one of the orange.
We didn't have so many of these sent in this week, to be fair.
Sure, that's not Deutsch Kajaku, Daz.
Could be.
No, not. Dino's fish in the barrel. So let's bring up Dino's other one, which is that one.
Which one we're looking at? The smaller of the two. Yeah.
Chris Taylor says you've got this, Dino. So that's the three of Dinos there. That one, and then his video. Daz's video again. Daz's single fish, and the video.
I mean, I'm biased, but you ain't seen mine yet.
Not yet. So we've got, and I'm guessing that I'm getting some coming through now from Skegate, which is going to be. Have you literally just? Has he literally just run out to go snapshot it? He has, hasn't he?
He has.
So we've got one there from our Skeg.
I said he could go out there with a flashlight.
It's got a nice zipper on it.
Yeah.
That's nice. Has it just sent another one through? No, that's the two for that. Right, so we've got Vince's, which this is nice.
Oh, yeah.
That's a pretty.
Where's that from, Vince?
New Forest.
Yeah, I like that.
Very
Looks like it's chrome plated.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Mm.
Well, I'm going to say
Nice
for the
and
cleanest,
tight,
for the cleanest fish there, mate, that's banging, is that? But unfortunately, Vince no longer owns it, so Vince can't take said title. It has to be handed over to the owner of the
rid
fish.
of that.
I set you free, Vince. I set you free.
What's wrong with you, Vin?
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. That. Why did you get rid of that fish?
I wasn't happy with the body shape. Susan said it looked like a grumpy old man. So didn't bother about it.
The body on that's good.
Yeah, it's nice.
There's a bit more volume.
Yeah.
Oh, you should see the size of it now.
Now we've got the ones that Rick sent through, which, believe it or not, right, Daz, that's your fish, mate.
Wow.
That's what it was like, and now it's like what you've got.
Jesus. What a transformation. So it's a Benny, it's
Benny.
Is it a Benny Kumonru? That looks like a Benny Kumonru to me.
It's a Benny Kikikuru.
It's Benny Kikikuru.
But that's the transformation that it's been through. Again, this is
What is it now?
This is the one that Rick's put in. But that's what it looks like now. So it's gone from that to that.
Nice white skin, isn't it?
Nice.
Yeah. So that's Rick's and Daz's again that you get to see at an earlier stage in its life. Now we've got Tony's.
Oh, that's nice.
Is that
That's a
new
new
photo?
forest fish, isn't it, Tony?
That was from Doc's koi at the National.
That's pretty. I like that.
It's a pretty fish. I like that.
Gaz, I thought we was meant to be putting details with them.
Yeah, but,
Yeah.
well, I'm struggling to get people to send in pictures of fish, never mind details.
We've got measurements at least.
I sent my details.
Well, I shall read them out, Tony. That doesn't mean you will win, though.
No, I know. I don't think I'm allowed to win.
Well, there's still one more to look at, and somebody else has just said they sent me another one. Where did you say? Somebody said I've just sent, Gaz, I've sent mine in. If it's not too late, where did you send it, Simon? You send it to Facebook. My email is too late because I'm using my device now that I could get it off. So, but yeah, it's nice that time. It is, mate.
Yes.
It's grown quite a bit since I've had it too.
Yes.
I'm not surprised.
That's not bad growth for 4 days, though, Tony.
Yeah.
It's a little on the podgy side.
Typical Deutz.
That's only because his belly's sat on the tank at the bottom because I ain't got much water in there.
Typical Deutz.
No, just the amount you feed them, Tony.
Wow, they like to eat.
So where did you send it, Simon? I've sent a vid to your Facebook now. 1 second. Let's go back off that. Give it a quick refresh. Let's see if we can get this next one that's been sent. There we go, short video. And these ones are Simon Smith's. Ooh, another master breeder of blankets.
I was just looking at that, yeah.
He could almost give you a run for the money there, mate.
Fellow breeder, yeah.
Fellow breeder. I'm going to guess. Oh, that's Dino's butterfly. No.
That's Deutsch Kajaku.
That's Kajaku, but it's a butterfly also.
Yep. Bloody abominations.
Beautiful little fish.
Another black chancho spot.
Rick's fish takes it for me.
Oh, and here we are, Phil Lambert's actual set up for soaking the motorways and highways, keeping the roads clean. We got another one. Paul has sent us one here as well. So let's bring that one up. Oh, full screen. Come on.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth.
Now that again is not Kikikuru.
No.
It's Miziogon.
Is it Miziogon?
Yeah.
Which come up, funny enough, on the little video.
I've just got 20 of them into the shop. They look fucking fantastic.
They do look nice. I like them.
Yeah.
Rick has some really nice ones as well.
Rick's got some lovely ones.
Lovely orange ones, yeah.
Right, so we'll go for last but not least.
It's a nice fish, Gaz.
And that'd be my one.
I like the head pack.
Perfectly trained as well, I hope you've noticed. Keeps perfectly still for a video. This is actually live recording. There we go. I just told it to move, so it just let you all know that it's still,
I thought it had been stuffed.
I'm going to say, look,
Has it got a little bit of a kink in him, guys?
It's rather fat with eggs, I'm hoping, or otherwise it has got a slight bend to its body.
It's a Deutz, mate. If you want your fish to stick its pec fins out when you're photographing, just
tell it to. There you go. Perfect.
Just hold the tail, and what it will do, it will naturally pull its fins out to try and move forward out of the grasp of its tail being tempted. So that's how you get to spread.
And that won't be mine.
a nice fish.
So what
mate.
we going? What we're picking, gentlemen? I shall allow you all to pass your judgment.
For me, it's Rick's fish, mate. The second one, that was real good quality.
I sent you one on Telegram, Gaz.
I've put you to one already, mate. Oh, have you sent another one?
Oh, okay. All right, okay. No. I was looking for other photos.
Yeah,
Put Rick's back up for me, Gaz.
put those on Vince's. Rick's.
Rick's. You said Vince can't have it.
I don't like that one because it's got a random orange spot on it.
That is
Hey,
nice.
I grew that fish from fry. 2 weeks, 2 week old
Random orange
unselected.
spot on it though.
Not that one, you dick. My one.
Very
All
close.
right.
That's a nice one. So what are you saying then? Let's have your
Tony's.
Tony's?
Yeah.
Tony's for number one. I've been robbed.
I still reckon Daz's is better.
I'll just let you look at that perfect symmetry there. Look.
Sort of gold,
It's a
isn't
nice
it?
fish. It's unusual colour as well. It's like a bronzy colour.
Yeah, bronzy gold.
And we got Tony's. Tony's was in crap. Wrong one.
What do you mean Tony's was crap?
No, not your fish was crap, mate. I said crap, wrong one. I opened up the wrong media player. Yours was in Telegram.
Yeah, that's nice.
That is nice, but I still think Daz's is better.
Daz's is good, isn't it? Can I bring Daz's back up?
At the end of the day, they're all Ricky's fish.
But, well, mine was from Doc's Koi.
Oh, sorry, yours was a Doc's Koi, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And that
Good old Neil.
is not.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is nice.
Phil's Koi Shack says, is mine not there? Where did you send it, Phil? Did you send it to all the fish that were sent through me to on the email?
How you feel?
You know you can't win all the time. Stop being a sore loser.
Oh, didn't mean to do that.
Just because you're used to Everton losing all the time. I mean, fucking hell.
Gary says, must have smoked 200 fags worth between you all in the last 10 minutes. I'm not smoking a fag. Mine is a bit.
Shouldn't we have a vote from the comments?
Yeah, come on then, comments. We'll let the comments pick this one this week. Which do you think's the best one? Just sent a couple on Facebook. Oh my God, this has become the never-ending. You mean you've had 7 days to get them through, folks? 7 days. And we're getting
Yeah, if they weren't in before today, they shouldn't be counted.
Facebook. Let's see. Turn that off. Refresh that. Oh, these are Phil's. There ain't one in there.
I'm going to say I can't see one in there. Oh, is that it?
No, there's not one in.
There ain't one in there.
No.
Lemon Harawaki. The Jackal.
Lemon Harawaki.
Oh, he's Lemon Harawaki. And then we've got that one there. No, there ain't one in there, bud.
Super Deutsch Super.
Is that a Kajaku in the middle?
Nice
Yeah.
Giro Turi.
Rob says Gaz is the clear winner tonight. That's only one vote though, so I can't be too.
Was that one from Gaz?
Stephen Paulus. There we go. That's a lemon Arawaki.
Yeah.
Oh, you're struggling here, love, this evening. That one's, is it Kimiziogon?
Now that's a good idea, Anthony.
Mr. Ogon, yeah.
Alan
That
should
one's a lemon
choose.
Arawaki.
Is Alan Tate still on?
Come on, Alan, give it
It's
to yours,
not.
mate. He's gone.
It's way past
Dino,
Alan's bedtime.
What did you say to me, Dino? Fuck you, Dino.
Dino says if I can't pick a winner tonight, I can't pick mine as a winner tonight, it must be Gaz's. Vince for me, Gav, I agree, that's a nice fish. But
It is a
Alan,
nice fish, but it's not Vince's.
but it's not Vince's anymore. Technically, Vince is advertising and showing us a fish there that he no longer owns. He sold it. So that, whoever he sold it to can take the winning place and hope that perhaps maybe one day we can encourage him to come on and show it again when it's a bit bigger. That'd be nice.
Huge now.
Right, guys, I'm going to drop out because my phone's going to die.
I see.
Thank
Okay.
you for joining
For
us.
me,
Greg.
it's-
Thank you for coming on.
Right, Skeg.
Nice to see you, Skeggy.
Just,
Goodbye.
and you guys,
I'm vaping,
Just-
drinking
just-
vodka, Diet Coke while watching. The clean metallic silver one has my vote. I want that one.
my
There we go.
my party words are, for me, it's probably Tony's.
Where?
Tony's from Skeg.
Yeah.
Vince? Who's voting for me?
Downstairs.
Daz's. So, Daz, who are you voting for?
I'll have to confirm that order now, then, Skeggy.
Oh, actually, I've got finger chocolate.
Come on, Daz.
Yeah.
Talk to me, Daz.
You just
Who are you
see, you
voting
just
for, Daz?
spoilt it now, Tony.
Who are you voting for,
Right,
Daz?
catch you later, guys. Ta-ra.
Catch you later, bud.
I was voting for Tony's.
So you were voting for Tony's. That's two for Tony. That makes it tonight's winner. Congratulations,
Oh,
Tony.
wow.
And that's only because you put the details in.
Ah, yeah, I did. I did put the details in.
Phil says bye to the Joker of the Week. Bye, Skeg, you joker. And that, ladies and gents, brings us to the end of the Koi Appreciation this evening, because that was not so very many sent through. But still some nice ones to look at. A couple of you might want to do. Would be my advice next week. Next week we are doing any type of Becco. Now, any type of Becco, they do come in yellow, they come in black and white, black and yellow, they come in orange and black. I believe that's it. Is it for Beccos?
Yep.
I got one of them that I thought.
Hero
So-
Becco, Aka Becco, and P Becco.
Yeah, so have a quick Google of any of those types of Beccos and see if you have one in your pond. If you do, send us in a picture. If you can't find one, send in a picture of an Asagi.
Seems to work for everyone else.
Has anybody else got any more questions they'd like to ask?
I've just Googled Becco, and there's plenty of Becco on there immediately, so you shouldn't get it wrong.
No, shouldn't.
I've already sent mine in.
God, that's a bit early, Tony.
He did
I
actually.
know.
He has already sent his in.
Mind you, I didn't think it was a Becco at the time.
He sent me 4 pictures of Asagi.
Just think it was an Asagi.
Right, I'm pretty sure that we did have a question that was popped in here, and I said I'd go back to it, and I think it was Craig that put it in. I'm trying to see if I can find it again.
Grapes.
In fact, it was Gavin.
No,
who Googled it.
Gypsy.
What grapes?
There we go. A quick question there before, and just a quick question. What are them volt alternators called? Called do not buy one because they're
Grapes.
extremely dangerous. And you end up running risk of a potential fire.
Yeah. Mm.
That's just my advice as an ex-fire officer. Don't mess about with them. Voltage is not meant to be reduced, turned up and down.
It's just like a dimmer switch, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
But same thing, when you put certain types of bulbs in dimmer switches aren't supposed to be used.
Yeah.
like LED lights, for example. You're not supposed to put unless you use an LED dimmer. There we go. Is there any way to calm down skittish fish? Yes. Get in the pond, give them a good cuddle, pat them down and stroke them and make sure they feel comfortable in the pond, mate. And you have to do it at least once a week. It's the best, quickest possible way of calming down my skittish fish, mate.
No, I'm good done.
Grin and bear it through.
I know what Gavin looks like, so the thought of him getting in his pond with his fish just.
Well, feed them until they're too fat to be skittish.
The two facts slowly can't get away from
skittish. I suppose that'd work. Seriously, calm them down by feeding them their favourite treats, mate, and keep working with them until they get closer and closer and closer to you.
You could also be you haven't got enough fish in your pond.
Yeah, 100 centimetre chagor in there with them.
You know, if you haven't got enough, or if you haven't got too many fish in your pond, and they will literally be skittish the whole time. You'll never train them. But start bringing them where you've got more fish that will be a lot more confident at coming to the surface for food, etc. They'll always follow that, and they'll won't always necessarily lose their skittishness, because some varieties are more skittish than others.
Yeah,
you know, when you look at the Haku, for instance, they'll tend to turn and bolt. Yeah, you look at your like Saragoy or your Chags, etc. They'll sit there with their mouth open the whole time.
I mean, if they're skittish when you approach the pond, which is what usually happens, is you really just got to stand there and necessarily stand still for a while and hand feed from that position, same position all the time at the pond.
Correct.
Don't know what you're talking about, Gaz.
And tonight, Matthew, I'm going to be.
Yes, tonight. Matthew. If anybody could go back and watch your channel, Gaz, they would quite regularly see you rolling a fag after a fag after a fag after a fag after a fag.
Ash bending over.
Every one of your lives, mate. So kettle calling pot. I do believe. But yeah, you're probably right, mate. Probably way more than what I should do. But just in case, just for good measure. Right then, any more? No more questions. So don't forget, next week, all types of Becco, guys. Let's see them, because I have one Becco. It's not the very best Becco. I don't particularly like him, to be completely fair.
I've got
Becco.
I've got two, actually. I lied. I have an Aakash Becco and a normal Becco. I like the Aakash Becco, but it's not the very best.
Does it look like a squashed tomato?
It does, very much so. Yes, that's what I refer to it as. My fat, podgy squashed tomato.
I should dust off my best squash tomato for next week then.
Yeah, send in your pictures, email them, Facebook them, Telegram them, whatever you can, get them through, and we'll let everybody have a good look at them. I'm looking forward to the Becco. I'm hoping to see some yellow ones, because I think the yellow ones look really good, to be fair.
They are fucking few and far between.
Yeah, rocking our shit. Them
Becco, yeah.
I'm going to have to get a yellow Sharpie out.
You're gonna have to go down to New Forest Coy and pick up another one right quick.
Well, there's a thought.
Your pond's going to be rammed, and your quarantine tank is going to become your main pond, because you're going to have that many fish working in there. You're going to be like 74 weeks of quarantine.
None of them have come out of there yet. I've got to get my bottom drain done.
I know. You should keep fucking adding fish to it.
I've got to get my bottom drain done.
Very well then, chaps. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. Thank you all for joining us this evening as well. If you could do me a huge favour, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. Till next time, guys.
Keep smiling.
Hey,
Bye.
Catch you all later.
Cheers.
See you all next week.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Night, guys.
600. I know. 1,000. 1,500.